watch me watch it.
Ugh, I hate this. I hate it so much.
Lena Headey said that the only thing she was thinking about during this scene was don't trip on your dress. Don't trip on your dress.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
now proclaim Cersei of the...
Oh?
First of her name, Queen of the Andals and the First
The
Men.
first queen of Westeros.
So, welcome to the Nights of the Drunk Watch.
Hi, you guys.
We're not done yet, so we're just gonna watch the last, 10 minutes. And then
It's
we'll
less
be
than
with
10
you.
minutes. Cersei is being
8
crowned
minutes.
right now. And Qyburn is like, yep.
And we gonna see dragons. It's gonna be the best.
It's gonna be great.
And then we'll be so right with you.
I apologize. My mother was in town and I had to entertain her.
It's just join
Ugh.
us. We'll join you.
This site is just
It's
wrong.
bonus reaction videos.
It's wrong.
I love this music.
Well, because it does the theme song and it does the Reigns of Castamere.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And he's like,
Something's not right here. One of these
so
things
it's like,
just
so
doesn't
he doesn't
belong
even
here.
know that Tommen is dead, but if she's being crowned queen,
Well,
that
maybe
means
she's
he's
right.
dead.
They jump on board real quick.
Right? Like
It's
this
like,
happened
well,
real fast.
she's gonna burn us if we don't bow down, so let's bow.
Not even.
Okay, so
Not
can
even
we already
close
talk
to
about
the
one of my
ground.
questions?
Yes.
No.
Sure.
So we see very clearly, we see Pike, we see the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
Super clearly. We see Sunspear and we see the dragon very clearly, but the other ones that would be there would be Tyrells, and we see Green. She sails in the background, but you don't see clearly
When
the
do they
flower.
have time to sculpt the dragons onto the front of the ship?
Don't
Do
ask.
the Tyrells have...
Tyrells don't really have ships.
So, but there are green ships out there
They're
that are
showing their
not
colors
those,
right there.
but they don't. What sigil is that? They don't show it
It
clearly.
looks like just a circle.
But they show the Sunspear super clearly, and then they've already shown the Krakens very clearly.
It's a Dothraki horse apple.
So there's
Or-
Sunspear
or they're
clearly, clearly
Are they the
Sunspear.
ships that she stole from the...
They show them again. They're green. From who?
From the Slaver's Bay.
No, those are all the ones. That's her army now. That's her armada, or the dragons that she stole from the slavers.
And Dario was saying, they just got done repainting the ship.
Yeah. So there are 7 green ships out there. There's Sunspear again, very clearly. But
So,
then these green ones are just
I would like to point out this is what Ramin Djawadi won his Emmy for. Was
it's
this
amazing.
segment here?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've seen him in concert twice. He is amazing. And now everyone's starting to wear black.
There's a green one.
Yeah.
There's a green one. Who the fuck is green?
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now.
It's not my favorite boat outfit, but
It's a cold boat outfit. They're not going on a yacht.
they're not going to the Isle of Narth or nothing. Party like
It has to be Tyrell.
They're green. Okay. I just think it's interesting in that they don't clearly show it like they show all the other houses.
Well,
Okay.
that. Holy shit.
Welcome.
or Baggins.
Bilbo's there? Sup,
no.
Bilbo? No? Different Baggins? Okay. Anyway. No, I know, but now we can actually do
What's
Yeah,
this.
I'm
What's
sorry.
that?
Yeah, it was definitely a flower. It
Oh.
wasn't that.
It was a
definitely
flower?
the other.
Okay,
I mean,
then
it
it's Tyrell.
looked like that more. Yeah,
Did it
it
look
was
like this
definitely
better?
that.
Hey, hello, Internet.
Sorry.
Hi. So we just finished up. You could have watched us the last episode of season 6, and now we're gonna talk about it. Oh no, but Andrew walked away.
We're talking
for
about all the
introductions.
last
What?
episodes. of
Introductions,
season
real
6.
quick before
I'm
you.
Andrew.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Mark.
I'm Kate,
I'm Thomas.
We are the Nights of the Drunk Watch.
and
And
now
our
our walk.
topic
Oh,
is-
So now I don't have a drink.
Tonight we're talking.
I know. We were just watching, so it confused me.
We are very thrown off. But Thomas is brand new to our talk tonight.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we did. So if you already
you
know what
watched
you're getting
any of
into,
our
then
Okay.
you know
Cool.
I'm about to go into saying please subscribe, hit that little bell. You can support us on Patreon. We just changed
Ring
our
my bell.
settings, so that's good. And we'll talk more about that at the end. But we're going to talk about season 6,
Oh.
episodes 6 through 10. If you have not
There it
watched the
is.
entire
There it is.
series,
There's the thing.
please go back and do that, because even though we're going to focus on those episodes, we will be talking about other ones because we've watched everything and read a whole bunch of it. So, spoilers.
Lots of spoilers.
Warning, spoilers. We'll try and focus in, but we're not very good at that.
Well,
So-
because, I mean, this is, like, now we're given all the theories and such, so we're going to be discussing.
And I already started season
Full
7, so I
universe.
will get...
Oh, I haven't started season 7 yet.
I
so
don't have to take
waited.
notes on it, so I'm just like...
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we started with Blood of My Blood.
Yes.
Yeah, so we start with Mira is still dragging Bran. Bran is downloading the entire history of Westeros into his brain. I actually did play it in slow motion and wrote down everything that he sees.
Oh my god.
Wow,
we
did
talked
you
about
really?
that.
Yeah.
I tried to hit
Did
like
you?
the big...
He's playing Three-Eyed Possum.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much what he does, he sees the death of everyone in his family. He sees Catelyn, Robb, Ned, and like everyone being murdered. He sees a lot of history of the dragons, sees them being born and stuff. He sees the Mad King saying burn them all, and we see Jaime killing the Mad King and sitting on the Iron Throne. And then, which most of that is in the past, but one thing I think that is in the future that he does see the explosion of the wildfire that we will see in the season finale. But then another shot that we still haven't seen yet is a dragon flying over King's Landing.
That was part of that.
No, but he's saying we haven't seen it in the show.
Show.
yet.
Yeah, we
So
haven't
that
seen
is
that
a
shot.
future thing, because we haven't
And
seen
but also I noticed that it was very, it had to be very sunny in order to cast his shadow on King's Landing.
That's true.
But it was bright and sunny.
that. You can have sunny snow days.
Okay.
Okay.
The sun's out in winter, we can agree, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway, and then we see a bunch of the Night King
Yes.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
He
You
sees
skipped
Hard
over a lot
Home,
that's
he
very, very
sees-
interesting. Like, where was it? The whole Craster's son being given to the Night King. We've been out of the North for a long time, and I still want to know what the hell is going on up there.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, we see the Night King at Hard Home a lot.
So yeah, Bran does just download
Yeah.
everything.
He's basically a PC. He's just taking so long.
That's why his personality just goes away. He's now just like, oh.
When he started this episode, he was still Bran. When he
Bran.
gets to the wall, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I think
Like,
so too.
so he definitely becomes the three-eyed raven at this tree because he's still like a little nervous, a little unsure, but he has to do it. And then when he talks to Ed, he is just like,
But you don't mean that
God.
he's not Bran anymore. You just mean that
he's now the three-eyed
Three-eyed
raven.
raven.
right.
In the
But
same
he's
way
still
that-
Bran.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's not like Bran's soul has been replaced by something.
he's not Bran anymore.
he's not Bran anymore. He is now the. And I mean,
it's
I
like
think
he
this
doesn't
is.
have enough room for Bran with everything else that he
Yeah.
just took on.
He's probably like, Bran is such a boring character compared to the entire history of Westeros.
See, I don't know if I agree with that. That the boy's body's been replaced by another being. Bran becomes the three-eyed raven.
He's the three-eyed raven in a
Yes.
Bran suit.
He's the new kid.
Yeah.
See, I don't agree with that.
I mean,
Okay.
I think we've had this. I mean, I think we've had this conversation before, and I maybe was on the other side
I mean,
of it last
there's
time.
no way we can
I don't
argue it.
know.
I don't believe that.
I
Yeah.
agree. He
That
hasn't been
Bran
replaced.
cannot. Bran's just gone, and now this skin is the three-eyed raven. Why do we need Bran then? I mean, Bran becomes the three-eyed raven. To
Yes.
me.
He
To me.
became the Three-Eyed Raven. Yes, that's what we're saying.
But
No, but
he's,
the case saying Bran is dead.
Well, we're not saying Bran is
No, I
dead.
don't think he's dead.
he's
gone.
buried under all the new responsibility and everything else he's just taken on. He took it on all at once. He's still Bran, but Bran's underneath
Right,
the
but
pile
that's not
of
what
everything.
she's saying.
Well, it's not important
agree
because
with
we
you.
don't know enough to them.
Yeah.
So Uncle Benjen
Really don't
saves them,
have
and he's
enough
like, "Oh,
information.
I've been up here forever since literally like the second episode of the entire series." And yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to move on.
Yeah.
We have Sam is so nervous about seeing his family again, so
Oh.
he's come up.
Wait, can we talk about Uncle Benjen and the whole Black Hands thing, or Golden Hands? Okay, we don't have to talk about that. Never mind.
No,
Well,
I
there's
just
nothing- what's there to talk about?
He's a great character, very underutilized, but comes in at key moments. But great character from the book. And
Why do you think they
wish
changed,
explored
like,
that.
do you think just Benjen never came back, and so that's why they made him Cold Hands?
Well, it's because trying to adapt a book into a TV show, it's like, well, we could introduce a brand new character right now, or we could make it a little bit more interesting by, here's a character that we already know, and we could connect with a little more, whose story we already know.
And I mean...
But the question is then in the book, is it still Cold Hands who does this? Or my question is does Cold Hands been introduced so that when they bring Benjen back, you know, that the kind of being he is has already been introduced. It doesn't just come out of nowhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
they have time to develop two characters
Martin
in the book.
has said, I guess, has been quoted that Benjen is not Cold Hands outright, supposedly.
Okay.
But maybe that's just apocrypha. But I mean, I just, you know, I'm still thinking about the books. Sorry. But there's just,
How dare you?
I'm looking at Mark's judgment from the back of his head.
Well, because we already know it's going to be different, so there's not really much we can discuss
No, but
about
part
it
of the
right
excitement for me is discussing the differences.
Yeah.
Not complaining about them, just discussing them.
I think it would be smart from a, like, I guess, writing situation on a TV series
I
to
think
say, hey, we're going to bring back an old character, because a lot of the fans were wondering whatever happened to Benjen anyways.
Well,
I think in the
there's
books
been a-
and in the show, you just instantly fell in love with him. So
Yeah.
for some reason, you were just like, good old Uncle
And
Benjen.
there's
Yeah.
a genre that spends a lot of focus on, like, him still being out there,
Exactly.
I think part of the
So,
reason why this
it'd be
trilogy
smart.
became 7 books is because George R.R. Martin kept... I feel like he does introduce concepts, and then he pays off later. So that's why I feel like Cold Hands can be a separate character in the books.
Yeah.
That has also been created by the Children of the Forest. And because, like, they finally got the Night King power right, but it was too late, right?
You know what it allows for Benjen to just come in fucking swinging.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain it, because you've already explained how he could exist if he's died and come
Exactly.
back.
Yeah.
They can explain it, like, introduce, like, oh, a shape came up, it looked half rotted, but not, and he just fucking wrecked everything. And then they're like, oh, it's
Ex
Uncle
Machina.
Benjen.
But I also have a question about him when we get to the end of the night. So
Okay. All right. Mark, move on.
So Sam is nervous about seeing his family again.
Yes.
So his plan is to tell them that little Sam is his son and try and get them to take him in, but not say Gilly is a wildling. And the Tarley house is so ginormous.
It's like Pemberley on
holy
steroids.
Yeah.
crap. That place is huge. And his mother and sister are surprisingly sweet and welcoming.
Oh my god.
We're like, oh, why
I love
is she
his
married
sister.
to that
Yeah.
dick
Although
of a
I do
husband
get
of
pissed
hers?
at his mom later, but
well, they probably didn't choose to get married. I mean, it was probably
Right.
their choice. But those Tarley women are so great, and the
They
men
really
are.
are.
And that's not the same dick
that's
on.
first dick on.
That's a different
That's
dick
not-
on.
Dick on
that's
number
first-
I
one.
don't remember
First-
there being a first dick
First,
on.
not best dick on.
Well, because actually,
First stick on is always.
well, because I don't think they actually said his name.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they said he was his brother. Like, they
Oh,
said
was
it all.
Yeah, I just
Hi,
didn't
Doug.
remember him being a different actor in that first.
Yeah,
season.
well,
I do
and
love his sister.
they have an awkward dinner. Gilly gets all dressed up.
She's like, oh, you'll be a good, like, lady or so. Let's go.
Southern,
Let's
Southern
go.
Belle Gilly-
Dress
Southern
up.
Belle Gilly is a delight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but then Gilly is trying to stand up for Sam and lets it slip that she's a wildling. And
Oh god, the hell breaks loose.
her dad is a cunt.
He is just such a fucking dickweed.
Dick,
Like,
yeah.
I hate him.
I
Like,
too.
just
But
because.
it's
voices coming from the dining room, by the way.
No,
it's a cap in the
Come on.
actor's
Mother's upstairs
feather
watching
because
TV.
anybody who can make you hate them that much is doing their job
Like that
so
quickly.
Exactly,
fucking
yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
kudos to
And then
his dicketry.
I got
I
mad
still
that the
hate
mom
it.
waited
Son.
so long. Like,
To what?
she clearly can stand up and be like, no, fuck off, we're leaving.
Yeah.
But it took her a minute to get
Yeah, I
there.
know.
She could have done that a little earlier.
Well, Sam has a sweet little goodbye with Gilly, and then he's like, nope, never mind. You're coming with me.
I feel like this is where Sam becomes a man.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Steals daddy's sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just now, not any time before.
I feel like this is the, like...
This is, again, though,
It's
this
He
is...
had to do this to like round it all out.
Yeah.
He's done everything else. taken his dad's sword and, he didn't exactly stand up to his father, but he did in the best way he could at the time.
By stealing his sword.
This is a
Got some Valyrian steel
continuation
on the playing
of
field.
Sam's strength being in when he runs away.
Yeah.
So he does this multiple times,
He does.
and this is maybe like the second or third time where he is showing strength by being like, fuck this situation, I'm out. And he does it from Old Town. He did it from after he stabbed the White Leg Walker. All of it. He shows strength in running away.
And then we go along to Tommen finally sees Marjorie,
Oh God.
and she
She just looks so like
Right?
brainwashed.
Yes.
perfect, innocent angel.
Like you could see
It's like, we
through
were
her eyes.
so wrong about the High Sparrow.
Yeah, see, I felt like this was Marjorie really taking no chances with Tommen, like, she couldn't whisper to him, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
She had to, you're just going to take my hand, and we're going to be good little,
Yeah, because she knows they were
Sparrows.
probably listening.
Really good little sparrows.
Yeah.
And stuff, but, obviously, she's, again, she always knows the right tactic to play.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to men. It's like, well, I'm just going to say exactly what they want to hear. And Tommen's so confused.
Well, he's so smitten, he would do anything. He's so pliable. Whoever goes at him next, they've got him, in their thrall, and that's his problem. He's so malleable. Anybody can just use him to their will. It happened every single time. So many people did that to him, and now Marjorie just got him most.
But especially Marjorie, she's been doing it since
because she introduced him to
Yeah.
sex, and then she took it away. All right. So we'll talk more about Marjorie later when we get back to. We have Arya has returned to see the play, and I guess learns now how Joffrey died, and
Lady Crane is so good, even Arya's moved.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Joffrey's death.
At Joffrey's death.
Yeah.
and then she finds is that where she puts the poison in? Yeah. So she's thinking about puts the poison in the rum bottle, but then Lady Crane speaks to her, and Arya's like, "Oh, despite you playing an evil bitch on stage, you're actually a nice person."
Yeah.
And
she already knew that because she questioned why she needed to kill her, right?
In the beginning, yeah.
So Arya stops her from drinking.
Yeah.
Knocks down, of course.
Watch out for this one.
Smacks
She wants
it
you
out.
dead.
Yeah.
Yep. And the wave sees.
Ugh.
Seriously, this wave needs to
Fucking
find
wave.
something better to do.
No, think about this. She's been watching Arya hanging around the theater the whole time, so she's been watching Arya slack off, not murdering people,
Just going to
taking
show.
in a play, probably getting herself some,
But
trophies.
Arya knows she's in trouble because as soon as she does that, first thing she runs and gets needled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hides in her little hidey hole.
Hides in her hidey hole.
Yes. Which, that didn't make sense at first when she was in that hidey hole, blowing out the candle and stuff. It's like she was in there, probably practicing for what she'll do later. But Jaqen gives the wave permission to kill Arya.
I wrote the way he tells Jaqen, he says, what a bummer.
Yeah.
That's basically, he was like, man,
Basically.
I wanted that to work out. All right, kill her.
I owe you 4 dragons.
You know what, though? That whole scenario just...
What whole scenario?
It rubs me the wrong way.
Which whole scenario,
What
Crystal?
Jaqen and Arya.
Poor Kay.
That whole thing. Okay, so when she... And I'm jumping the gun, I'm sorry. But when she does decide to leave, he basically tells her, good, that's the right decision.
Yeah, but she needed
Well,
all this
But
training.
I'm also like... But Jaqen
Oh,
just
we're so
tells
not there
the
yet. We're
way...
gonna
I
We'll
know,
get there.
I know, I'm
Next
so
episode.
sorry. I know
will
it's the
get
next
there.
episode.
Hold that thought. Put a pin
Okay,
in
I'm
it.
gonna hold it.
Moving on.
Because that
No.
whole story just bugs me. It bugs me a
Can
lot.
I bring up something in episode
I hate
1,
you so
season
much.
2?
All right.
Yes,
Star
Zach. go ahead.
Trek, 1968.
Stop talking.
The Tyrell army marches up to get Marjorie and Loras.
Oh my
Oh,
god, Mace
Tyrell.
Tyrell looks so stupid.
So
His
dumb.
little speech.
He's like, "Oh," and then everyone's like, crickets.
Crickets.
No.
I
He
did
should
write.
have broke out into song, honestly. That would have got there.
I wrote that the High Septon was in the middle of a speech when we came in on him because the audience was finally like, just please fucking stop talking. So for us, they cut in halfway.
And then Olenna shows up and she's got her shade fan.
Oh,
Our
yes. I
shade
love
fan.
her.
They're in the closet. Jamie, however, he looks quite dashing on his horse.
Ugh. yes.
And okay, but all right, here's what
I was gonna say. When he rides up the
stairs,
that was pretty bad.
All right, and then here's what the Sparrow says. This is what bothered me about the Sparrow, because Jamie's like, we are here for Marjorie and Loris.
This is what bothers you. This one thing.
There's more
Stop
things,
talking,
but
Zach.
This is it. Yeah.
You don't even know what a small council is.
It's late. I got 2 hours of sleep.
Well, it was early, but.
All right. So my point. So this High Sparrow says, "Well, I don't have the authority to give them to you, and you don't have the authority to take them." So who has authority here?
Nobody.
Who is technically in charge?
Gods. The gods are.
And they'll do something, probably.
The Father delegates authority as necessary.
So it's, but here they are. They're ready for a fight, and we were ready to watch a fight. But then Marjorie has already atoned by pretty much convincing Tommen to give the High Sparrow ultimate power.
Yep.
And Marjorie really
So
thinks
dumb.
she has everything under control here, right?
Yeah, I think she
just forgets about Cersei a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I think she underestimates the craziness. Like, no one knows how far Cersei's willing to go.
Yeah.
That is true.
No one expected her to blow shit up.
They should have. She's been saying it for like
For years.
I'll burn it down.
Episodes, yeah.
I'm like, oh, Cersei.
Oh,
calm down.
Cersei.
You're so dramatic.
Well, I mean, but then the question is,
Drink your water.
do you
Come
think
on, Becky.
Do you think Marjorie would have done what she'd done if she had known that her father and her grandmother and Jamie all had the army out there waiting to get her?
You saw that look on her face when
She was
she
like,
saw them
"Oh."
come up. She's like, "Oh,
Really?
I
didn't
don't have
see that.
to do this. We don't have to do this." But
Yeah.
again, she hadn't played her full hand. But see,
But she didn't know.
I always saw that scene as the High Sparrow taking control of the situation. He wasn't going to let there be a fight. He was going to use and show everybody when there was a crowd drawn and embarrass the hell out of Jamie, the army, everybody, and be like, "I got this, y'all. The gods say no."
It could
Not
have even
today,
been
y'all.
a switch of her not quite knowing if she'd done enough yet.
Sorry, I'm feeding my mother.
And then he was like, "No, you have, because I don't want a fight happening."
Yeah, and Mace is like, "What? What just happened?"
I could break out into song.
And then Jamie is fired from the King's Guard.
yeah.
Which, the look on his face during this entire scene is almost he can't fathom what exactly is happening.
Yeah.
We've experienced this kind of girlfriend before, where you have to separate your boyfriend from all his people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
it was weird. And to even hear Tommen give a little bit of authority in this.
You
made me
didn't
go,
like it?
no, part of me was like, oh, see, you could be a good ruler.
No,
There
he
you go.
looks like the worst, most
Oh.
Well, because he
But,
doesn't know,
for
because
what he
no
was
one
doing,
ever gave him a chance.
I feel like the situation he was in was very manipulative, or people were manipulating him to do that. But him putting his big boy pants on,
But he
and
doesn't
just
even,
having a big hefty voice, I was like, oh, Tommen.
he has a big heavy voice maybe, but he keeps doing this thing of the sparrows are over there, and he's like, and I have decided to do the.
He needs a co-signer as well.
Yeah,
I did this
exactly.
thing, and
He
that's-
needs a co-sign.
He just keeps
bidding.
checking.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I just
No,
want to make sure
most
that I am going
definitely.
to.
He goes to his most recent phrase he just learned: "The crown and the faith are the two pillars."
Yes,
of the
exactly.
blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah."
yeah, blah, blah,
But
blah,
this is
blah,
all
blah.
Marjorie's doing, right?
Yes. Well,
And the
I feel
High
like
Sparrow.
she's the one
I
who
don't think the High
initiated
Sparrow.
it.
I think what Marjorie is doing is she's positioning herself to be in complete control of Tommen, and when the Lannisters are taken care of, I think she'll take out the High Sparrow.
She's
She
giving him
just
one
doesn't
thing
get
no one else
there.
can give him, though.
What?
She's giving him one thing that no one else can give him.
Absolutely.
Back rubs? Back rubs.
Back rubs.
But she also has control of him, she used the faith to control him, and I'm sure her plan is to get rid of the High Sparrow. She just never.
But she had to get herself out of prison first.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of prison.
So
get
she
rid of
did
the
what she had to
Lannisters.
do to get out of prison. I mean, again, if she had known that the army was outside waiting to come in and get her, she might have been like, ooh,
If only
okay.
they had cell phones.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or she
Martell
and
girls
Cersei
gone
had
wild.
teamed up
Yeah,
for
I guess.
once.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so,
just- okay.
all right, can we move on?
Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
I don't like this
Uh,
storyline.
Walder Frey is pissed that at his sons for letting the Blackfish reclaim River Run.
Yeah, he's pissed. They stole Vedmer. They're gonna use him as a token.
Yeah. Bye.
Move on.
Next.
And Jamie. So, yeah, no, we can't spend too long on one thing.
Sorry.
Jamie goes to River Run to reclaim the castle for the Freys.
Cool.
Great.
Golden backhand.
And then Cersei discussed her plans for a trial by combat with the Mountain as her champion. So she's like, whatever, I'm fine. The Mountain will fight, and I'll be good. Moving on. Dany travels to Meereen. Daria says she needs 1,000 ships to transport the Khalasar.
Wait. We get the Benjen scene where we find out that he was created the same way the Night King was.
Okay, cool. He was created the same way the Night King was.
All right.
You
were just like Mr. Pushy today.
Massive plot point.
I just don't care about Benjen. That part's so boring to me. Sorry.
Well,
it's just not your show.
Yeah, there are 4 more people sitting here talking about shit. So.
You know what?
I like
Benjen's
Benjen, but it's fine.
And the one behind me complains that we talk too long. So I'm just trying to move
He hasn't talked
through
about
points.
that in like 3 weeks.
Did you see that, Buzz?
I do not. What I complain about is like I let you guys talk, and then when I want to have something to say, we've talked too long.
Let's talk more about how long we talk.
Yeah, right?
It's very long.
The length of talk.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah,
so
let's keep going.
Dany. Now we can talk about Dany.
All right, so Daria says something interesting to her. He says, you weren't made to sit on a throne. You are a conqueror.
Oh, I concur.
And at that very moment, she senses Drogon disappears and flies in on Drogon and gives her big old speech to pretty much... I mean, because the Dothraki, technically, they were already kind of following her because they saw her come out of the fire, and clearly they're all following her to Meereen. But now she's all like, well, now I'm on the dragon. Now I'm going to make a big speech on the dragon. Will you all follow me to Westeros?
Having to talk to, like, on a daily basis, and to be fair, and this is also in a closed room, having to talk to 30 children, and if 3 of them are speaking, the whole class can't hear me.
Exactly.
She's in a goddamn desert, and there are 100,000 people. You're telling me, one, they're all silent.
Canyons.
None of them are like, what'd she say? Is she on there? There's no fucking way they all heard her.
Yeah, right?
Anyway.
But
I'm talking over you, big
But
nuts.
they do agree to follow her because the Dothraki follow strength, and she's up there on a big giant dragon.
Yeah.
She can say anything.
I was gonna say at that point, that's when it doesn't matter what she's saying.
She
They're
just
like,
when
"You're
she
on a dragon."
pauses,
Cool.
I love cheese. Oh! We done with this episode?
Yes.
Cool.
You're burning through these episodes.
We're not. We got through
one.
That was one.
Oh my god. What?
All right. The Broken Man. Oh, I like this episode.
As opposed to the others.
Shut up. We get a pre-credit scene, which is always a favorite.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Have we had those before?
We've had like
They usually
season
happen at the
1 or
beginning.
2.
Yeah.
They usually happen in the season premiere, not necessarily in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
But we have had at least 2 that I can recall. Because I know I've written no shit. It's a pre-credit scene before.
There have been like 3 or 4.
I know the first season. Maybe I didn't. We'll go back.
I don't know.
First and second, I think.
So yeah, the Hound is alive, and he's trying to do good in the world.
And Ian McShane exists. Do we know that yet? Oh, we don't know that yet.
He in one and a half?
Yes, we do.
In this in this scene, I don't think so.
They're
No,
building this up.
it just shows people building, and then shows the Hound, and then it goes to the credits.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll meet him in a bit.
For a bit.
Fucking love Ian
Yeah.
McShane.
All right, so then we go to Marjorie's continuing to play the Sparrow's game, telling him exactly what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
And the Sparrow, again, he takes away her power by just sitting in front of the Queen. Like, he doesn't even ask permission to sit. He's just like, oh, I'm just chatting. I'm going to sit down. And he tells her that she needs to make babies.
Ugh.
And then more or less...
What does he say? Pleasure isn't required, or desire isn't required for
Desire
Congress?
Something like that, yeah.
Do your job, lady.
Well, she's all like, you've been sitting here telling me not to sin, and now you're telling me to go have sex. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The desire has left me. And
He's in full-on Pope mode. He's got to lay down the law.
And he more or less...
He's in full-on misogynist mode. Is what he is.
Yeah.
On purpose. Go lie down.
Pump and misogyny kind of go.
Well, in his master plan, as good as he thinks he has Tommen and Marjorie, their children, he knows he's gonna, snatch up
into whatever faith. Yeah, absolutely.
Baptize them with little 7-pointed stars. Babies.
So,
oh my gosh.
And then he pretty much threatens Olenna. And then Marjorie meets with her grandmother. Yeah. And there's Septa Unella there.
The whole
just
time.
Standing.
But and this is where we know for certain that Marjorie is still playing the game, because she's like, she looks her in the eyes and she's like, go home. And then she smiles. Yeah. Go home and find comfort in prayer. Blah blah blah. But she hands her
the rose,
the little drawing of the rose.
I also sometimes, like, when I know something's coming that might be subtle, I like to listen to the sounds because of that one person who was like, their sound is amazing. And before you they show her crinkle it in her hand and do the big crinkle. As soon as she touches her hand, you can hear paper rustle just a little bit, and it's so good. They didn't need to put that in there, but it's perfect.
But Emmy Awards.
But right?
Yes, so that proves that she has not been actually brainwashed, and that is the last time Marjorie sees her grandmother.
Oh no!
Aww.
Granny's old. She's got to die sometime.
But she dies last. She's the last of the Tyrells.
It was a joke, guys. Because
It's practically a joke.
It's not.
Alright, and then we have, now Jon Snow is trying to get the wildlings to fight with him. Yep. And the giant is like, Snow.
And he just walks off.
He just pretty much, he decides for all of them.
He told them what he was going to do.
Yeah. That's my vote. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, because the wildlings are the only ones, they've seen what's north of the wall. They know the world has changed. Yes. So they know, I know, how dare we fight with the crows? And it's like, well, either we fight or we die. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
But of course, no one else thinks that.
Cersei and Olenna.
Olenna calls Cersei the worst person she's ever met.
Ugh.
Yeah, and again,
I love this whole conversation, y'all.
Lannisters had worked together.
Love this whole conversation.
No, they're so bitter.
It was all Cersei. Because Cersei's like, I'm sorry, but when you are married, when you're the queen married to the king, and the king dies, and your son becomes king, you become the queen regent. That's just what happens. Yeah. She refused to just let that go.
Lose the power. Because she's nuts. She's a little nutty.
She's
the
mad queen
she's
now.
A little bonkers.
Yeah, okay. Just a little.
Couple screws loose.
Well, no, she doesn't have any more. She doesn't have anything else to keep her in check. Her dad's not around,
Right, yeah, that's true. It really wasn't until...
It's her first time that she's totally running the show.
Yeah, Jaime's not there.
Yeah.
She's...
Because Tywin's gone, Tyrion's gone.
The only person she has, at her side is Qyburn in the mountain.
Yeah.
And Qyburn's just do it. He's basically the devil on her shoulder at all times. She has no angels.
Cersei's slowly coming undone and going to a very
every time
specific
Qyburn
point
just shows up and goes, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
We should do that
Oh
one.
my gosh. Yeah. In every single scene, Qyburn's just sitting in the background going, oh.
It's like he's... Yeah, never mind.
I made notes later when he does all of that. So Jaime and Bronn arrive at River Run and teach the phrase how to command a siege.
The phrase are such losers.
And then, move on to more cooler people. We meet Lady Mormont.
Yes.
I love her.
She's the fucking best.
The shit.
She should be queen of the Seven Kingdoms. She's
Absolutely.
the wisest of them all.
I
She
completely
knows how to
agree.
listen to her. She knows how to listen to her advisors, and she knows when to
Yeah.
shut them up.
She's just, and I love her. She's a badass.
She's the
Times
best.
12, yeah. And she's
and she has
very well
64 freaking men.
And she is
62.
proud.
62.
She is proud of all 62 of those fucking men. She is proud and will say
it actually, and
twice.
what it was Davos that
Davos convinced
persuaded her to do it. Because that's why Davos is so great, because he did come from nothing. And it's like he knows how to talk to people.
Sometimes.
It's like, he knows how to kind of see things from all people's point of view. Yes. Rather than just I'm a noble, I was born a noble, I don't... Yeah, whatever.
He even makes that little, he's so good at diplomacy, I feel like. and it must be become like from being a smuggler where you have to like get what you want.
Yeah.
So he has that type of diplomacy to where when they're like, how many men do you have? And she says 62. And John and Sansa are like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And she says all of them are worth 10 times like a land boy.
Regular
like
boy.
And he says, and if they're half as strong as you, I am like, we're fine.
Yeah.
And she's just like, aw. And so he kind of like smooths over the
You
like,
get a gold
animosity.
star.
Yeah.
Well, because like
Good job, Davos.
it's like the dad in him. Like that's how he was with
Yeah.
Shireen, and it's like
And he sees her as
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Aw.
Absolutely.
We're not there yet. We're not there.
Oh, sorry.
Ruining stuff?
So, and then the Glovers say no to John. Sansa's like, you are pledged to House Stark. And they're like, every time we send our people to fight for the Starks, we all die.
Yeah.
We don't have any more people to give you. Anywho.
Which, you can't... I wasn't all that mad when they...
I mean, it's true. Well, because he
I
had
wasn't.
all of the men that went south with Ned, they all got killed. All the men that went south with Rob, they all got killed.
Yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
took 20,000 men with him. None of them made it back.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, the Ironborn were raiding their lands,
Yeah.
killed more of them, and they're like, what do you want us to do?
They have nothing left at that point.
Yeah. And then I have Yara therapies Theon.
Oh god, that scene is hysterical.
It's like basically Theon needs to get drunk and whatever form of laid
That
still
he can
happen.
have, yeah.
Yep.
That's her solution.
No, it's a good scene. She calls him out. He's still very much afraid of every little squeak.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
everything, and she's like, hey, you got to take your medicine and you got to man up, or down the lane, not across the street.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's true. She's like, look, if you're going to kill yourself, go kill yourself. If you're going to fight with me, then man up and let's do this. Like, she can't...
Well, because even if you're thinking like a leader, it's who's going to be the first ones to go? The weak ones. You're my brother. And I don't want you to be a weak one, so grow a set and let's go.
It is like we
No
don't
pun
get to
intended.
see.
Yeah, right? No, pun intended. Sorry.
We don't get to see, or I think we forget that there's so many like family relations. We just keep seeing like alliances where we don't get to see this like, even though we're watching the Stark siblings all the time, they're all until this last season separated. So we don't get to see like those like familial relationships. And this is basically her like grabbing his fucking ear and being like, don't be a pussy, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where I feel like that's a very sibling tactic.
No, it totally
but
is.
she
I would
did it
totally
in the
say it to my
best
brother.
way, too. She
Yeah.
goes, I'll never hurt you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he needed. He's completely on edge still.
Yeah.
Well, he just needs to drink some more, and everything will be
cheers,
fine. Speaking of which, may I have some more wine?
Oh.
Yes.
Jimmy Fallon.
Cheers.
All right. And then we go back to Arya, who's actually I really
Do
love.
not even go there. I will come over there.
Zach, you
like
need to calm
Arya?
yourself.
Zach always talks
fuck.
shit about people we like.
Well, no, I love how when she goes, she's trying to book passage back to
Christmas?
Westeros,
I'm
and
good
she's
right
all
now,
like,
thank you.
"Here, I want a cabin," or no, she's like, "I want to book passage," and he's like, "You can have a bunk and steerage." She throws down another thing. She's like, "I will have a cabin, and we're leaving at dawn."
That was amazing.
I'm
yeah.
glad she took her
She's
money
such a
back 'cause she
badass.
missed that shit.
Was
Yeah.
that the
Oh.
money? Was that the money the Hound stole with her way back when?
No,
Is that what-
Probably.
No,
Yeah,
she had
didn't
to.
have that money.
No, she tossed that purse away when she had to get rid of her clothes and all of
And
Arya's
that was
things.
and that was the money the Hound stole from those people.
Yeah,
back in
she
Westeros.
tossed it. She tossed the Hound's purse into
Okay.
the water with her clothes, and that was when she hid Needle. So I mean, he asked where she stole it from, and she's like, "Why do you care? It's yours now."
That's
Yeah.
right.
But then she is stabbed by the fucking wave.
She
Wait.
gets shanked by a sweet little old lady, and she never even saw it coming.
Oh, like what kills me?
She let her guard down.
She let her guard down.
Yeah.
And that's not like Arya. And I don't know if it's because she was excited that she's about to go home.
That'll learn you.
That may have been.
And that's the reason why she let her guard down. Or
Well, she just,
She wasn't
she was just
thinking,
feeling
or what
safe.
was?
She feel like she was getting away with it.
Yeah, but then
No.
what pissed me
Fucking
off the
wave.
most is like how the waif is like, and then that look on her face, she's so thrilled. She's all like, yay, I'm supposed to train people to be no one, but instead I just want to murder them, and look, I got to kill her. Why?
She's the worst.
That's why the waif is failing her own test. I mean, Arya's her test, and she fails it. And Arya kills her.
No, they're both acolytes, and it feels like Jaqen was playing them off of each other like only one. There can be only one. And it was.
No, that makes
you
sense.
put two students against each other, and the victor
But
becomes
I don't feel like Jaqen was doing that. I think just the waif just felt like I'm his student.
Yeah.
You don't get to be his
Yeah,
student.
very territorial.
But it's like
yeah.
there are. I mean, as far as we know, like there are lots of faceless men assassins or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but we don't see anyone else in the House of Black and White.
Other than somebody that looks like a corpse mover.
Yeah,
we see another a few headless bodies of movies.
Well, yeah, they carry the bodies away.
Yeah.
And
it's like, but we don't listen. But
we've seen a handful of other people.
All right. Well, we didn't really. So my next note was the Hound's new friends get killed, but we didn't really talk about Ian McShane.
God, I was so
Ian
I
McShane,
just
too.
distinctly remember being so pissed
I was too.
that he was here for a fucking episode.
I knew.
And that was
going
it.
in.
And that was
one
it.
goddamn episode.
I already knew going in
Yeah.
ahead of time that Ian McShane was only going to be in one episode because he was like, I don't care about spoilers. I come in for one episode, I bring back a loved character, and then I'm gone. Like
I specifically want to go back
shit.
and watch this to see if I was that pissed when we saw him hanging. Like, I want to watch the reaction
Yeah, you
video
will
for
be.
this one.
No.
I watched it.
of
I watched
us?
our reaction
Oh,
video
yeah.
to see if 2 years ago Kate was as pissed as now Kate
I
is.
think you are.
I
actually.
believe that I was.
Ollie got 3 seasons, so.
Oh, fuck Ollie.
Fuck Ollie. Okay.
Sorry.
He's dead.
Ollie's
I know,
not-
thank
Ollie's
God.
not as expensive as Ian McShane.
That's
true.
Valid point.
What else?
So, well, that's all I have for that episode. The Hound's new
Cool.
friends get killed.
No, that was a fantastic bit. Ian McShane was amazing when he
Yeah.
talked his way out of the Brotherhood without banners.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and why do
It was a
people have to be
fantastic
douches like this? Like, we're trying to keep the king's peace. Give us all of your food and all of your horses. And he's like, you're welcome to stay for supper, but, like, we don't have
We're hungry
a
too.
lot of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you
'Cause
are welcome
people
at
are
our
dead.
table,
Well,
but...
he didn't even exactly talk them out of killing them. I mean, they came back and killed them.
Yeah.
Want to see what it was like? I think they... Like, did they see the Hound when he was there? Did they... Like, you think they left because they... Or, well...
No, not the
There's
first
No,
not
one.
I think
really.
they left to
Second.
come back taken by surprise.
Yeah.
Because they were rogue Brotherhood members. Anyway.
Well, that's cool. I didn't really want to watch the actual massacre of all
I
of
didn't
them.
either. That
I'm
was
totally
so-
fine with just
ugh.
coming and finding them dead.
No, but
I didn't need to see that
the
scene.
books very much go into the Riverlands just went to shit. It was like Mad Max times, you know. It was kill or be killed in there. Arya and the Hound barely made it through, and that was just one last little glimpse into that shitty ass kingdom.
Right, well,
war.
see, and that's kind of the reason why, you know, I mean, one of the things that we talk about a lot is that why in these early seasons, it takes people so long to travel from, like, one place to the other. And it's like, well, because when the war was still going on, like, it was, like, that, it was dangerous. Like, you couldn't just travel up and down the King's Road. You had to hide, travel through the woods, like, go off trail and such. And then now as the...
Dress as a boy.
Yeah, but now as, like, the War of Five Kings has died down and a lot of the Rogue Brotherhood and stuff have been executed, that's why now, in this season and next season, everyone... Well, you can get from
I don't...
Bravos to the twins in the course of one episode.
Well, because I don't think it necessarily takes less time, but I think there's less story for us to see along the way.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not, like, fighting. There's not tension. There's not... They just, like... They ride a horse for 5 days, and then they get to the next place. And that's kind of just, like, what it is. So they don't need to show it. Because even, like, we still see that it takes months and months for them to like, do stuff or for them to paint the boats or... I like to think how much, like, they were just sitting, like, if the boat's still not painted... All right,
cool.
we'll go to Westeros tomorrow. Like,
So you're saying if they were faster boat painters, Dario wouldn't have been broken up with?
no, he would have. Why would he not have been broken up with?
Oh, yeah, he totally would have been so broken up with.
That, okay, so, episode 8, No One.
No one. I love this.
So we have, Lady Crane finds Arya and fixes her wounds.
Yes.
Another character you fall in love with.
Just to have her die.
Just to have her die.
But Arya says something very interesting that plays into my theory of what the end may be. Arya says, Essos is east, Westeros is west. But what's west of Westeros?
Yeah, because Lady Crane's basically like, please come travel with us. Like, and she's like, nah, you'll get killed. I'm going that way. Like,
well, see, and also because, like, going into a bit of history on Westeros, Arya named her direwolf Nymeria.
Yes.
And in the history of Westeros, Princess Nymeria lived in Essos, and her people were being slaughtered by the Valyrians. So Nymeria led 10,000 ships west to Westeros and to save her people. So this is one of the things that makes me kind of think of the story may end with everyone leaving Westeros and going west. But
I like that.
To Amoros?
Yes.
Sure.
And then the next thing, the Hound gets his revenge with an axe.
Oh, yes.
I would just like to say, sometimes I take very good notes, and so these was some dudes talking about smooching around a fire. There's some butt play. The Hound starts straight up axing people.
Yep.
That was how I explained.
And that's exactly what it was.
With the guy trying to stick his finger in the
There's
other guy's butt.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of butt play.
Who's playing with whose butt?
Boys playing with butts. You did.
All right.
You don't watch this fucking show. Shut up.
I do? I watched it too many damn times, let me tell you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you have anything to say?
I don't know, because I stopped taking as many notes. So has Varys left for Dorne yet?
No.
Well,
no.
that's the next note.
Yeah, that's my next note.
Great.
All right. So, I mean, Marine has come back to life. I mean, Tyrion made his pact, and it is working. The city is
Red
thriving
Priestesses
again.
are, like, singing the praises of Dany, and so...
And she does have a choker, too.
Yeah.
And then, now Varys is off on a super secret mission to make friends in Westeros.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we won't find out what that is for 2 more
What's your note? Andrew?
That was just Varys that goes to Dorne.
Cool.
All right, next we have...
By Davos, you meant Varys.
Oh!
I said Varys goes to Dorne.
Did we have one of
You
those
just said Davos.
heartfelt...
No, I said
No,
Varys.
we didn't. Never mind.
So, I have one question about this next scene that has nothing to do with anything, but why is Lancel's chain so much smaller than the other boys?
What?
It is
Why is
Lancel's
his
little
what?
chain, his little cross-guarded
He hasn't
chain.
gone clear yet,
It's
obviously.
a lot smaller than all the other
I
boys.
didn't notice his
He has
chain.
him atone for
I
all his
didn't
sins.
either.
He just has a little chain, and it's a smaller chain like the others. Anyway,
So,
the Sparrows go to see Cersei.
Yeah, and this
And she ain't fucking
was
having
the
it
moment
at
that
all.
was what was it? This was used in like all of the trailers for the new season. Was Cersei going, "I choose violence," and
then a spine gets ripped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
And that is one of the
Not that it matters
moments.
how you rip a spine out. Like, I don't think it's...
Was
that-
it his spine? I thought he
No.
just like ripped his
No,
jaw.
no.
So Kyburn,
He ripped his jaw so hard it like took the whole
Kyburn
spine.
gave him a little predator blood, and man, he just got into this whole spine.
And
Wow,
this
yeah.
is one of those moments where Qyburn was just sitting there going, "I made that."
Oh,
I
my.
wrote ooh in Qyburn's face, and I don't know what that refers to, but I
Him
can
being
imagine.
very
I wrote that
excited.
Qyburn totally popped
Yeah.
a boner
He's
watching the
the
mountain.
proud
Yeah,
Lion.
he did.
Papa.
He's a proud papa in that
He's
moment.
like, I forgot. I took a dead man and I made that
That,
thing
yeah.
out of it.
Go me.
Exactly.
And then Brienne arrives at River Run and
Aw,
wrote,
Brienne.
"All reunions."
I wrote hard eyes because she sees Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie and Brienne, Bronn and Podrick. And then Brienne scolds Jamie for trying to take River Run from the Tullys.
Tully's,
And then she speaks to the Blackfish and he refuses to abandon River Run to go
She
hunt
tries to give her
Sansa.
sword back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like,
And he's
"No,
like,
you
nope."
keep
I
it."
feel like
Aw.
River Run is Jamie's first test, which I think I later where he fails. But of honor above all, he still chooses family above honor
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
And then we have Cersei arrives for the royal announcement, but she is sent to stand with the other ladies of the court.
That's right, yeah.
And you notice the other ladies see her coming, and they're like, and they like run away.
Let's run
from
away
her.
like little cockroaches.
This is also like one
From
of the
the
biggest
light.
moments where we see Tommen being totally like puppeted.
Oh, yeah.
Because he goes, and another thing. Also, trial by combat is no longer a thing, and the crown said, or the faith said so, and so we're not doing that anymore. And we're
right,
she
and then
tipped
her hand.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I mean, well, she didn't because she told Jamie. She told that to Jamie.
Yeah,
she didn't.
No, but when she had the mountain rip one guy's spine out of his, they're like, she's going to do trial by combat. We don't want that.
No, we'll all die because I think he's dead already.
And then Qyburn has another boner moment when he's like, by the way, Your Grace, do you remember that little thing you asked me about?
Plan B works.
Super fucking true.
Like, we got a plan B.
Hold on. What did y'all think that was when y'all first saw it?
Oh, I totally knew it was wildfire.
Yeah. I think we all knew it was wildfire.
I thought it was dirt on the high sparrow.
No, because we knew from various sources about the wildfire.
They've been foreshadowing. They've been foreshadowing like the wildfire, her threatening to burn cities to the ground. Plus, there is the chapter in the book where she uses wildfire to burn the Tower of the Hand. Like,
I keep maybe that was such a visual in the book, but I keep thinking that I saw that in the show. Like, I keep having this vision of Lena Headey.
I can totally picture that.
Like, the tower is above her, and she, like, looks down. Like, I can see that. So, well done writing, I guess.
Well, and I feel like, and I always say this because I went back and watched some of our reaction videos, we had mentioned, like, episodes before. And I want to say it was a bet at the very beginning of the season that we were talking about either the wall coming down or King's Landing.
Oh, yeah.
The bet was the wall coming down, and the wall didn't come down. And
Audie was determined the wall was going to come down.
But I remember you guys talking about...
We were thinking King's Landing was going to burn.
Was going to burn, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, in a way, it did.
But Audie thought the wall was coming down this season.
Yeah.
Was it season 6?
Yeah, she had to do 10 shots, but you had to do 5, didn't you?
Yeah, I did 5. Well, because
part of King's Landing burned down.
Because only part of King's Landing got burned down. But I was more right than Audie was.
Yes.
Only some of them got burned to death.
Yeah. That's why I'm just saying, Thomas, that I was pretty sure that we all were like, no, we knew it was wild.
There's several moments.
I read the books, but I just saw that look on his face. I'm like, ooh, the High Sparrow's into some bad shit. But
he's not.
It didn't click. It was just my first
the High
instinct.
Sparrow already confessed to doing bad shit.
Yeah, he's not someone you can blackmail.
When I heard rumor, I thought, okay, that's got to be about somebody, not necessarily about something. But yeah, I should have seen it for sure. Again, I always wonder how these scenes, if there are parallels, how they're gonna play out in the book. Like having to read Hodor dying, in the book.
Let's
not. I really want to know.
Now,
how
George Martin has said that
like
the one thing that he said, the death of Princess Shireen and Hodor are exactly how it's going to happen in the book.
I guess that's good. We get the best scene with Tyrion and Missandei and Grey Worm.
Yeah,
they're drinking and telling jokes.
Best.
Her joke of like 2 translators are on board and they're
sinking ship.
They're on a sinking ship. Like, what does she say? She's all like,
one's like, "Do you know how to swim?
Do you know how to swim? No, but I can call for help in 19 languages." And she's.
Oh, that's right. Getting drunk heals many problems. That's what
and poor Tyrion. Poor Tyrion is like. That's a bad joke. He's like, these are awful jokes.
See, but that's one of those jokes that, like, we, the audience, laugh at the joke because it's not really a funny joke. But I just love the look on her face.
Sweet. It's like she's so proud of herself. And then Grey Worm does the same thing. I'm like, I'm a soldier. You think I don't know a joke? And they're like, you lied. He was like, I told a joke. That's not funny either. Yeah. But he was so proud. Like,
he was.
I mean, well, consider he was a castrated slave, killer. Yeah. Anywho, but their fun is ruined by the masters arriving at Marine to reclaim their property. But that's all we get of that.
We get the whole retaking of River Run.
Yep.
Yeah. Jaime chooses family over honor.
Yeah, so he sends Edmure. A little wave to Brienne. Yeah. That was cute.
Oh, actually, I want to think, because we were talking about the timeline. There was one line that Edmure says he's been in a cell for years since the Red Wedding.
Okay.
So that's one of the few things that
I feel like
gives
every
us a
season
timeline.
is a year.
At least.
Like, because
what, that happened in season 3?
Season 3. So it's been 3 years, and that kind of keeps up with the children getting bigger, naturally, and but yeah, he said that. I didn't write that down because I'd given up on trying to track all that, but because I finally just decided, I think in one way or fashion, when you hit the beginning of one season, it's been a year
at least. Yeah.
Pretty much,
a year's passed since the beginning of the previous season.
No, that's totally fair.
This was one of those moments of foreshadowing. Jamie was talking about mothers would burn cities to the ground to protect their children.
Yes.
So that was one of those foreshadowing moments. And then also, why the fuck does Walder Frey give a shit if he holds Riverrun or not?
Yeah.
He doesn't go out there and fight. He's never going to visit Riverrun. He's just sitting.
Because he's a petty little old man.
Yeah.
What else does he have to do other than fuck young girls and make more children?
But like every time we see him, he's just sitting up there at that exact same table, just eating and drinking.
He's stuck it to the Starks, and he's stuck it to the Tullys.
Exactly, and that's what he cares about. Yeah.
And the Blackfish is killed off screen.
He is.
And Brianna Podrick escape, and she makes sad eyes at Jamie, and they wave. They wave.
I don't buy that the Blackfish is dead.
Really?
I don't know.
You what?
I feel like he got away somehow.
No,
they talk about later. They talk about him being definitely dead later.
But yeah, I think it was kind of annoying that they killed him off screen.
Because he wasn't trying to get away.
He said he hasn't had a good fight in a while. He's going to be shit at it.
I think we still could have seen that. They didn't have to take long on it. It could just.
But it would have been a whole fucking siege battle. Like it would have been.
It would have had to have been
a lot of men and shit. Like that is.
A lot of men and shit.
A lot of men and shit.
Why? Because they had to fill screen time with Tyrion, Grey Worm, and Missandei just drinking.
Listen,
I'm not sorry. No, I'm not insulting that.
Actors, not 50. So.
All it would take is one.
You did need fight coordinators for that.
Nah,
you did not.
Anywho, so and then have Dany returns to Marine.
Not a moment too
soon.
So I really love because they're like shit's going down. Grey Worm is pissed. They're all having conversations, and
like
then
this is your fault,
Tyrion. And Dany just
this is my fault.
busts in. Like she's like, all right, let's do this.
Well, yeah, because there was a moment they go out, they're like, the fuck is that? Yeah. And then all the Unsullied just bow down.
Yeah.
Oh.
We heard whispers. We're concerned.
Sorry.
We're not. We're just. Zach needs headphones. I happen to have some.
Is anyone on the chat? Is anyone?
No,
even
I've
watching?
been checking.
Yeah, we've just had 3 people. I don't know.
They're just hanging out, watching, and that is fine.
Hello, people.
If you would like to
watch us,
please include your comments. We'll debate you too, or agree with you. Zach will probably disagree with you, but that's.
My next
but
note
Zach
is they were
disagrees with
bad
everybody.
brothers. I don't know what that means.
The what?
They were
bad brothers.
The Hound. The Hound.
He
meets
American Thoros.
Without
banners.
Banners were bad. That's what
They're groups, so they run away.
Some people say these are bad brothers.
Because earlier I wrote it out. Why would the Brotherhood without banners do that? And it's like, because they were shits.
Yeah.
They were
again,
deserters.
The Riverlands is in turmoil, and people are taking advantage of it. You've been seeing them. They joined the Brotherhood without banners just so they could reap, rape, and pillage whatever they could find.
But that wasn't the true purpose of the
No,
Brotherhood about banners. That's why I was confused. But this explains it.
Because they're bad, as he wrote. This is another one of those scenes that I really love that they include. It's not necessary, not like it doesn't need to be there, but you just like it is. It's fun. He's like, no, I want to kill all of them.
Murder
no,
bargain.
you get 1. I get 2. And he goes there like, no, but you have to hang him. Fuck, can I get an arm? No. Fine. I'll take his shoes, though.
My note is the Hound gets more revenge and new boots.
Yes.
And he joins the Brotherhood now because Beric Thoros, whichever one, is talking about the Hound's alleged purpose still to come.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that purpose is Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl.
I want Clegane Bowl.
We better see some frickin' Clegane Bowl. We were hoping to see it in season 7, but no.
No, I feel like we were hoping to see it in season 6.
Yeah.
I want to see Arya and Hound Master Blaster shit with the White Walkers. You know what I'm saying?
Kill everybody?
Yeah, like
that'd be badass.
the ultimate duo.
Yeah, they need a reunion. We need a lot more reunions. We're going to get them. All right, moving on.
Lady Crane. Gosh, why do we have to like Lady Crane?
Murders Lady Crane.
Oh my god.
She's Miss Fisher. Damn it.
And then I wrote, Arya runs and kills the stupid cunt bitch.
Thank God.
Well, and Arya just plays to the waif's pride, and that's why the waif loses.
Yeah.
And that's why Arya is her test, because if the waif wasn't so prideful, she just would have accepted her sister acolyte.
Right, because she pulls out a dagger, and then Arya's like, well, I have needles. Don't you know that's not going to help you? And it's like, my sword is longer than yours.
But
that's not the point.
I know that's not the point, but yeah. And
no, but the way she put the lights out was
the point
brilliant. Is somebody learned how to fight in the dark.
And she led her down there. I mean, look, Arya was purposely dragging her bloody hands across the wall.
But you were talking about again the waif's pride killed her. Like she has been under the impression that she's better than Arya the whole time, and so when she sees oh, I've got a dagger, you've got a sword, I'm still better than you. That's still not gonna help you. And it's yeah, bitch, try fighting in the dark.
Which is exactly what Arya's been doing for I guess months. Is just fighting her blind. So she's like, I got you.
Yeah.
And now she's on Arya's turf because Arya's been standing in there in the dark, figuring out the spacing and the walls.
She's been dancing in there. That's a good call.
Yeah, she has been dancing. Okay, now we can debate.
The whole Jaqen.
All right, Jaqen's.
Okay, so Jaqen's like, "What's all this blood? There's a face." Arya's like, "What, bitch?" Yeah. And then he says, "Ooh, she's finally no one." She says, "Nah, I'm Arya. Yeah, and I'm going home."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I. It's not a big smile. It's the tiniest of smirks and the tiniest of nods, and he's like, okay,
but he fucking loves it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the point is that the end of this journey, Arya truly knows who she is.
Yes.
It didn't matter if she was no one or Arya. She had to be 100%.
Yeah.
And in the end, she's like, I'm 100% Arya. And he's like, you go, girl.
Yeah. Yes.
I think because, he was there when she first started making her list. He knows who she is. He knows her journey. And he sent her to he sent her to watch the play with all the people on her list. And it's like, go ahead.
Do we think that he thought she was going to stay Arya the entire time?
That's part of my dilemma.
Do we think that
secretly he knew, and that's why he put her through everything he put her through?
Or do we think that he was I can see him being 50% she's going to be the most badass assassin ever, or she's going to be the most badass Arya ever. She's going to be the most badass something.
Yeah.
I think at a certain, he maybe didn't know at the beginning, but I think as things started going, he's like, I know where this is going to end. It's either going to end with her dead or her with I'm Arya Stark.
Yeah.
He always wanted to pay her back because, let's face it, way back when, multiple seasons ago,
she saved his
life.
Yeah.
And he owed her everything, if you will. Yeah. Everything. In his religion, as just, one person to another person, he owed her everything, and he gave her the best gift he could give her, which is to impart his
strength,
knowledge and
power.
And
to train her.
And again, who the hell knows? You could do a spin-off where, Jaqen calls on her, taps her again, you're up. You got, there's a debt you owe type shit.
Yep.
Arya the bounty hunter.
I haven't
watched
that. Will travel.
Arya versus Alien.
No, but my whole conflict in this relationship is everything that was just said. Was that he's known her since she was
I think it was
and he's watched her grow up, so to speak. That for him to tell the waif, go ahead and kill her.
Yeah.
Either
that was hard for you.
It was hard. It was really hard for me.
Because
it
that
was hard
the
for
ultimate
me
test.
not
Only
to be mad.
Well, because it was both of their
went
tests.
in. Only one of them could come out.
But also,
which makes sense. But I feel like
even had he completely meant you gotta go murder her, he still said don't make it hurt.
Yeah,
don't make it painful.
Yeah.
So make it quick.
Don't make her suffer.
Whatever he fucking said.
Whatever it was.
He said one of those four or something else. No, don't make it ouchy.
No.
Please be a little nice.
It was just in that moment, I was a little pissed at Jaqen. That was it. Yeah. It hurt my feelings a little bit.
But then he knew if she survived, she would come out so much stronger.
Hey, Thomas.
Yes.
Can you open another bottle of wine and bring it here?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And to answer your
Maybe
question,
one of the Cabernets.
part of me
The Anthony's Hill.
Part of me thinks that he did know the whole time he was going to end up being Arya.
Yeah.
Part of me does. From like the very beginning, he knew. Let me take her under my wing. I'm gonna make her a badass, and then I'm gonna give her back to her family.
He's gonna help her with her purpose in life, and her purpose in life was to cross the people off her list.
Maybe it was 70-30. I always think he knew she was gonna be successful. I don't think he thought she would die. But I do think that he had some thought that maybe she would become an assassin.
Yeah. And if she officially became no one, well then great.
Yeah.
If she officially became Arya, well then good for her. It was just kind of like he's a trainer of assassins.
Yeah.
Even though there only seem to be two little girls are the only people he's training to be assassins. Okay, we should move on.
Episode 9.
Battle of the Bastards.
When did I stop taking notes during this one?
Oh gosh, this is probably...
I didn't take notes during this episode.
I started, and then as soon as it got to, like, shit's going down, I stopped.
Yeah, that's how I was with Hard Home.
Okay.
So we have Trebuchets and Marine. Dany is a little weary of Tyrion's job that he did.
She left Tyrion in charge of the city, and this is what she comes back to.
Yeah.
But in Tyrion's defense, he says they are attacking the city because his plan was working. Mm-hmm. Because the Masters cannot let Marines succeed without slavery. Yeah. Otherwise, it proves that you don't need slavery.
Right.
So, and this is another one of those moments where Tyrion said, by the way, in case you didn't know, there is a bunch of wildfire hidden under King's Landing, including the Sept of Baelor. So another foreshadowing. And then Dany's like, all right, shall we begin? Shall we take care of business now?
And then I really like the whole Drogon thing happened.
Oh yeah, me too.
That is my absolute favorite segment in the entire series.
Because as we were watching, rewatching, Thomas was like, well, they should maybe not burn so much. I was like, no, they're burning a boat. One boat. Those big ass fucking dragons are trained enough to be like, just this one.
Just this one.
Just this one.
Well, because see, like, she
burn it real good, but
she
just
flies over and she's like, that one. Right there.
Yeah.
And again, it is Daenerys, like, refusing to cower during any of this when she's like, we've come to discuss your surrender, not mine. My reign has only just begun. Mm-hmm. and as he's trying to be like, your reign has ended, you see little Drogon off in the distance, like, flying down.
Yeah.
He was totally right there.
That shot was so well planned, because obviously when they're filming it, there's no Drogon there, so they say, hey, put it this way, because we're going to have a dragon fly.
And he's so small, and he's so far away that, like, if you blinked, you might have just thought it was a bird.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, so it made me think, when she first got home, when she surprised everybody, showed up at the top of the pyramid, why didn't she just handle business right then? But it's because it was night, nobody would have seen. She had to make a spectacle out of it.
Well,
especially because she was only
we're sorry.
Yes. Well, because also, here's the thing about the dragons, is that the dragons need to be more of a last resort. Like, you cannot, like, and that's what the whole next season is about.
Queen of the Ash.
Yeah, you can't just come in with the dragons, burn everything, and say, bow to me. It's like...
I mean, but it's the equivalent, it's kind of the equivalent of, like, a nuclear bomb. Like, you can't just start a war with that, because then you have nowhere to go up.
Nowhere to go to.
And also, like,
nobody left.
Nothing left.
Yeah.
Like, so that's now just a wasteland. So it'd be the same thing with the dragon. Like, you burn it down and then you can't use it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, see, and then and it's also because, like, then you would just be ruling with fear. So I mean, and that's what Dany tries to do, is she tries to earn her followers' loyalty before being like, all right, either bow or I burn you.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later. So yeah, she just has to burn one ship.
We also I like the progression of events, because then Grey Worm is like, you can do what you want. Everybody's standing behind these 3 little boys, but you might want to go home to your families or die. Like, these are your options.
Do you want to die or do you want to go home?
And they're just like,
bye.
Bye.
Peace out, y'all.
And then the Masters are like, kill him, and he just kills the other 2.
Well, because He kills the 2 douchey ones.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
is-
they're all
they
the
were all
douchier.
douche-
By the way, just a side note. So we've got my mother hooked on Game of Thrones. She's watching season 7 right now.
Oh my God.
No. So his mother. So she's visiting us. She's staying here, and we've been rewatching just the last few episodes of season 6. And she started watching. In fact, we ended the episode before Battle of the Bastards, and she's all like, "Oh, is that it? Is there? Are you going to watch more?"
Or like when I got here and she went upstairs and was like, "Can I?" But I want to keep watching. Like, what's the channel? Where?
So she's upstairs. We can hear it. She's watching season 7 upstairs right now.
I haven't watched
Not
it
having
yet.
seen the previous 5.5 seasons.
Wow.
That's better. That's almost better.
That is almost better.
Okay, John and
right.
Sansa. John and Sansa and Ramsay.
They
Ramsay's
parlay.
so gross. Hello,
I love how he
wife.
says bastard.
Hello, wife. Hello.
Oh, just his
So John suggests one-on-one combat.
5%.
Mano
which
a mano.
would have.
If no one ever found it.
I'm sorry. Okay.
What?
keep
No,
going.
no. Say.
No, I'm done.
4%.
That was. I just had to. I had to out of my body.
Yeah.
I had to
Lights
keep
off.
going.
Well, Ramsay refuses because
He's a
number
pussy.
one,
That's
he's
why.
scared. Because he knows John is a better fighter, and he knows
Absolutely.
he would lose to John. But then also he's all like, I have a bigger army. I have Winterfell. Like Ramsay held all of the cards, but he lost because he was arrogant and foolish.
But I also, I almost feel, I mean, John doesn't convince him because Ramsay doesn't give him shit, but
No.
John's point of why would your men fight for you if you won't fight for them is such a good fucking line.
So
Of
good.
like,
That's
at
actually what
least
Grey Worm
makes-
just said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes Ramsay take a moment and he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm still a little bit bitch. Like,
but,
no.
See, I think all Ramsay had to say would be like, wildlings. That's why. Because they all hate the wildlings.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that is one of the reasons that most of the northern families are fighting against John is because he let the wildlings cross the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, people, you don't understand how dire this situation is.
No, of course not. Because
Nobody does.
half of them don't believe in
Yeah.
White Walkers as it is.
It's
So
Everyone's
Starks and
still-
Rumpkins.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone just shrugs them off like, oh, White Walkers.
I still want to see one of them ice spiders, though.
Yeah. But so, talking
Yeah.
We
about
have
animals,
mammoths. Why not spiders?
I know he
Like
didn't die at this
Aragog.
point, but fucking
No,
Shaggy
they
Dog.
addressed the
His
ice
head.
spiders, though.
Again.
How is his head not rotted away?
Oh, Shaggy Dog?
Yeah.
It's
I
gotta
mean,
be. It's been months.
I feel like I haven't
It's very
breathed.
cold in the north.
It's
Oh.
very cold.
It is
been
very
cold in the
They-
north.
They kept it in the cold.
I also like Sansa's like, fuck this. And she's out.
She's like,
just like,
you're gonna die tomorrow.
nah, bitch.
Bye.
Yeah.
And then, although, well, Ramsay's dogs are hungry. All right.
Yes. Which, by the way, I would like to point out a continuity error, is that Sansa says, you're gonna die tomorrow,
I just
Ramsay.
was looking at
Bye.
that. I was like, hang
And
on.
then he says, I haven't fed my dogs in 7 days. But then she's all like, oh, you said you didn't feed them.
You know what? During the next strategy meeting, John also was like, and I made note that the dogs haven't been fed. Someone was taking minutes
Yeah.
on the meeting between me and Ramsay, and it says here, just like I wrote, dogs are hungry.
Uh-huh.
Someone else wrote, and his dogs. I don't know why I wrote this down, but I did write down that his dogs were very hungry.
Ramsay went to treat
got it.
with a bastard to bastard, and he
Wow.
is a bastard and was being a bastard to his dog.
All
That's
the
what a
bastards.
bastard does.
And he's gonna get
Alright,
bastard.
so now they're having a strategy meeting, and Sansa's like, she keeps trying to tell him, well, because this is the flaw everyone has had against Ramsay. Everyone so far has underestimated Ramsay.
Yes.
And that's why Sansa's like, focus, don't do what he wants you to
And
do.
they
Yeah.
do literally all of
All
it.
of it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
microphone.
because she said, he's like, well, what about Rickon? And she's like, we are not getting Rickon back.
she knows.
She's like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
he's going
He's
to
gone.
die because he is the one true male Stark.
Yeah.
He has the truest claim to the North. So she knows he's going to die. And she still keeps to, we need more men. We need more men.
See, this is, and I will always refer back to Andrew for this. This was just like, just fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
She could just be like,
Hey.
Give me a day. Give me a day, and you'll have a bunch of men on horses, even. She won't.
I mean, she could have suggested. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, see, I've been thinking a lot about this question, and I think first of all, ultimately, it comes down to we need that moment in the Battle of the Bastards where it's like the cavalry arrives.
Where you think all is lost.
Yeah. All is lost. And
it's like in Lord of the Rings when the Rohirrim arrives at Minas Tirith.
But I think so then you gotta like, okay, let's back phrase rationalize this into like story because obviously, because the thing is like she doesn't, as much as everything that's happened to her, she still doesn't know who to trust.
Yeah.
She doesn't know she can trust Baelish, and she knows she can't fully trust him. But can she trust him in this moment? Because if she says something and he doesn't deliver, well, then they're fucked. And she doesn't know if she can trust John.
That's the first. So not the trusting John, but the trusting Baelish is the first time I've like even thought of that idea, and that is a good point.
And so it's like
she wouldn't want to overpromise.
She doesn't want to overpromise, but then.
But you can at least mention it
because it comes up this kind of does get capped off in episode 10. She doesn't know if she can trust John yet. In the way that she needs to, and then when she finally does bring in the cavalry and saves the day, that's what cements their bond of like saying we have to trust each other. And she's like, "You're right. This won't happen again."
And we haven't even gotten to the battle.
But I mean that's what I mean. Just looping ahead and looping back.
I mean, but you could have at least been like, "Look, I wrote a letter to Littlefinger." Maybe, like, asking him to bring the Knights to the Vale. Maybe we should wait. But it seems like this point, we just wait 1 hour.
But his response might have been, we can't trust him, screw him.
No, it would have fallen apart.
Yeah.
More than it did?
What's better for the show? To go in, oh, hey, we got this, or to go
I
in,
know. Drama-wise, it is far more interesting to think that John and all of them are going to die, and then to have that moment when the Knights
the only piece
arrive.
that's missing is she's saying we have to wait. He's saying we don't have time, and she can't say, for the sake of drama, give me 24 hours, I might have something.
Give me 4.
God, she didn't even need 24 hours.
Actually, really, it's just like 10 minutes.
4 hours would have been nice. Rickon. Tormund, no.
John tells Melisandre not to bring him back if he dies.
And she says,
she's like, well, I'm going to have to try. Because finally, like, she admits, like, she does not have the power. She's like, and that's what Thoros said. Thoros says, like, look, I simply ask the Lord of Light, and he grants me it, or he doesn't.
Absolutely.
So, and then, then Davos finds the burnt stag that he made for Shireen.
While he's looking for a good place to shit his guts out.
Yeah.
That is true.
Oh, and although that is a beautiful shot of Davos standing over...
It is.
The thing where, like, I guess that's the sun rising and his capes blowing in the wind. I love that shot.
And then, the last thing before the actual battle is Theon and Yara at Marine. And they have their little lovely...
Yara and Danny are kind of, like, making eyes at each other. Because...
Danny was like, I thought I might have to get a king, but, hang on.
Right?
Well, no, I think it's because, like, she's all like, has the Iron Islands ever had a queen? And she's like, no more than Westeros.
Mm-hmm. But there's also a good reunion there with Tyrion giving shit to
Tyrion and Theon.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, well, clearly you haven't paid for what you did.
Everyone thinks they're making dwarf jokes for the first time.
Yeah.
Hey, short man.
I wonder if all 4 of the jokes that he said were like things that we have heard in the series, like a man of your stature.
Probably.
They've definitely been in there.
Or who knows? Probably things poor Peter Dinklage has heard during his life,
which is so stupid.
I mean, but Peter Dinklage is a Lannister. I mean, it's pretty good, but
no. I mean the actor Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
not...
but all of those are like high like ranking jokes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So Daenerys agrees to take their offer of 100 ships in exchange for, I guess, letting them rule the Iron Islands.
Yeah, but they can't.
They can't raid, rape, and pillage anymore.
Reaving.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's our way of life. So clearly, the Iron Islanders will die out because they can't grow anything on their islands.
Except for all the trees, apparently, that they made those 1,000 big old...
those trees.
Yeah.
They would.
Grow boats.
They can grow boats.
Grow
If
boats.
they can grow boats, they can grow something.
Anything other than boats.
Literally growing boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then we go to the most epic battle to date.
Okay, wait. So Sansa doesn't see Rickon die.
Yeah.
No, Sansa is not seen at all in the battle until the Knights of the Vale arrive.
So she doesn't actually... We had talked about this a little bit. Sansa doesn't see Rickon die. She sees a lot of people die, but not him.
She already knows he's going to be dead.
Well, I know, but knowing and
seeing that actual
different.
moment...
Yeah.
We don't really know where Sansa is at that point. I mean, I guess she had to have been off. Like, maybe she rode her horse down. It's like,
It's over here!
Over here!
Yeah.
Come this way!
She wasn't going to go to the battle, so...
Wait, are y'all trying to say Sansa was giving the Knights of the Vale directions?
Yeah.
That's why they showed up late? Ooh.
I mean, well, because when they arrive, she's at the front there with them. So, like, the only thing we can assume is that she went and she found them. She's like, oh, guys, this way.
Over here.
This way.
Took a
Oh,
wrong
you
right.
might want to hurry. Things are not going good over there.
It's rough.
Because I hope this is the giant battle we need to be at.
All right.
That last one.
So I just have Rickon can't zigzag.
Okay,
Surfing
so
how
why
much shit he
didn't
got.
zigzag?
Because he's a child and he's afraid for his life.
Okay, but...
And he
Also-
didn't get... So he was so young, he didn't get military training. He's been hanging
Okay,
out with Asha
that
for the
is
last,
true.
like,
You have a valid
18
point.
years,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
running
okay.
for
Hold
his
on.
life.
I have one question. There were a bunch of flayed men on fire on the field of battle.
Yeah.
Who the fuck were they?
Just random dudes.
Who did he kill?
wait,
Who did he kill? And he's like, you,
That's what he
and
does all
you.
day.
No, I know, but who were they?
What did I say? I said,
Well, they weren't the enemy. So clearly they had to have been his
Okay, I don't
own.
know why I said that down.
Yeah.
It might have been Stark prisoners or... Yeah.
Do you want to know the real reason the flayed men were on the battlefield?
Oh, their
For
distance.
light?
Maybe or no. What it was is that the filmmakers.
Marking where the arrows can go?
Yeah.
No, they were.
Distance mark.
Let him
Yeah.
finish. Mark has a thing.
I know, I'm fucking with him.
I know. If I remember correctly, it was because they had horses charging in there. They were marking off areas that like the horses were not allowed to go because there were like holes or like groundhog holes or like
Okay.
parts of the land that the horses could not charge into, or they would have fallen and broken their
So
legs.
they were fucking orange cones.
Yeah, they're safety.
Pretty much,
They
yes.
were safety
Wow.
cones.
That is the real reason the
But
flayed men are out
back
there.
So they were
The story.
ornamental flayed men.
Back
Okay,
into the
so
story.
the story-
is he knew how far he had before he had to kill Rickon. Because he knew his
That
arrows
too.
could go to the last one.
See, but also like if he
Like
was
a golf range.
Oh.
all right. See,
Yeah.
the thing is also if he were zigzagging, he would still be within range of it, as opposed to trying to take the most direct route out of range.
Yeah, but I
he
mean,
was panicking.
the math to figure out how to shoot an arrow for a target moving in one direction is
It's
less
different.
complicated
Yeah.
than it is for a target moving in two directions.
Or, yeah.
okay,
So it's
well,
moving this way and moving this way. So you have to not only like figure out by the time I shoot how far will he be,
Yeah.
but you also have to figure out which way is he gonna go.
So
Well-
Ramsay was studying parabolas the night before.
So next time we go
No,
to war,
that was
That's
the
wild.
science
archery.
teacher here can explain to the child running in a panic for his life math.
Yep.
Okay. But
I'm
all
down
right,
to be
but
there.
no, he was just
I'll be
doing
there.
it to
That's just like
provoke
shooting
John.
guns.
He was just trying to get John to charge in there because you saw. Then the next thing is he's like, all of my archers fire and try and hit John. But good thing that of the thousands of men die, like none of our like 3 or 4 main characters get killed in this
No,
battle.
it wasn't just like getting John there wasn't the only reason. It was they had a whole plan of
Right, 'cause
make
they
them
dug the
come.
trenches.
Yeah, they dug the trenches. They had a whole plan, and Sansa was like, "He will make you do what you want." And he's like, "No, we have this whole plan.
Yeah.
We're not going to let them do the pincher movement. They will come attack us, we will be ready. And then they had to make the different call of Jon was already halfway there, was so like red vision angry that his brother was dead that he started running, and they couldn't let the king in the north run without them running. And so Davos had to be like, all right, shit, we're going now, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, so they had to change their entire plan of attack because of the emotional torment that Ramsay put Jon through.
And it was Jon's first, like, if you will, real Westeros battle.
Like, yeah. I mean, as far
where,
as them,
where
like,
where
both sides are
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
and then you all charge forward, as opposed to just, like...
God, it's still, like, I still forgot. I knew that, like, I always remember that this is stressful, but I forget all of the moments where it's stressful, so I still forgot what was going to stop Jon from getting, just taken over, and I forgot it was a whole other fucking wall of horses. And so I was still, like, a little shocked by that.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
the piles of bodies.
Well, and then Ramsay's just throwing away his men that way.
Yeah, because he just has his men keep firing into the battle.
Just flayed 6 of them for markers on his battlefield.
Well, and Davos is on the other side. They have their archers, but then Davos, a real human being, is like, wait, we're just going to kill our own men.
Yeah.
So let's hold it. But then Ramsay's just like, knock, loose, knock, loose. Meanwhile, as he sits back in the safety of...
Yeah, he's not even wearing any kind of armor.
No, he never had any intention of coming out there to fight.
And kudos to Davos for keeping his shit together during the battle and not losing it over what he's just discovered.
Right. Well, and then Davos finally had the moment. He's like, okay, well, he was back there with the archers, and he's like, we might as well be taking shits back here. Guys, let's go. And he leads men. That is what I love about these characters. Like, I mean... I can never imagine what it would be to literally, like, charge into battle like that. I would be in the back saying, get me my brown pants, please.
Well, the whole scene, like, Jon, I don't know how he was able to determine friend from foe. It was so...
How do you know?
A nightmare.
How do you know who you're supposed to be fighting and who you don't?
At that point,
anyone who came after him.
Yeah.
So.
It was whoever's
because they're
lunging at me is I have to lunge back at. Yeah. Because... I mean, and even still, think about it. He was just being trampled on.
Oh my god, all the trampling. That moment.
So, at that point, it's also kind of like you have to whiplash your mind back into whatever you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah.
No, because being trampled on...
he wasn't... That wasn't after... Like, this was after the horses... He wasn't trampled on then. He was trampled at the end when he couldn't breathe.
Oh, yeah. When all of the...
He came up in the mosh
there was
pit.
literally, like, a pile of bodies. Like,
that was around one edge.
That was insane. We were expecting an epic battle, but, like, seeing just... how brutal
it was
that is when you're literally trapped in by a pile of bodies, and then they all, and actually this is when the Bolton men did have really good.
Would you put Penny out?
Yep.
Yeah. And this is where they did have like good strategy. The cat may be out there.
Yeah.
I mean, how they circled it, and they had the front men had their shields, and then you saw like the men in between them had the spears, and it's like really all you had to do was keep 2 steps forward, stab. 2 steps forward, stab.
Yeah, it was very, very.
It was like the tortoise, right, or the turtle is what they called that formation.
I think so.
And that was intense.
It was very intense.
Just when you think all is lost.
No, so I want to know. I want to know where was Wun-Wun's big stick? He needed it right then. He needed a big friggin' log to just.
He took their shield.
Yeah. He took a few hits, but those were some giant spears.
They were.
So it's like he's like he could take several swipes, but he couldn't get too close. And then just when we think all is lost, we see the flag of the Knights of the Vale, which I would like to mind you, the Knights of the Vale have been sitting out the war for 6 seasons.
Yes, they have. But I think Littlefinger had his little say in that as well. I mean, I know that he didn't really have any say over the Vale until way later, but...
He persuaded Robb and Aaron to send the knights to help his cousin Sansa.
Yes, exactly. And I'm saying I think he did that on purpose. that he's had the Knights of the Vale in his back pocket for a while, just waiting for the perfect opportunity. Because he uses this whole thing to manipulate Sansa some more.
Right.
Well, because that was how his whole plan, him and Lysa Arryn began this whole thing. They started the War of Five Kings.
Well, yeah.
And then they're like, no, but you're going to sit back. You were going to let them all fight each other.
Stupid. They're so
and then
stupid. And then we're going to save the day. And then we're going to roll
poetic. Where Ned grew up and learned to fight in the Vale, they helped take back Winterfell for his kids.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah. Oh, Ned Stark would be so proud. Not that Littlefinger is ruling the army.
So I was asking myself, where was Robin Arryn in all this, and why couldn't
Where is Robin Arryn?
He's hiding off, and he's probably still
up somewhere for his own good.
He's down south.
He trips and falls, not quite through the moon door, but like takes his whole,
jaw.
Then falls
maybe an ice dragon flies by, picks him up, flies up really, really high, and then just drops.
I have this picture of Robin thinking, I can fly, and throws himself off.
I can fly! Maybe someone can make him a little pair of paper wings and say, this will allow you to fly. Jump off the tower here, and you'll fly.
We gotta move on.
Sorry.
Real quick, I would like to point out, if you have not watched our reaction video of the Battle of the Bastards, you should totally go watch it.
Without headphones, just watch it on a normal thing.
Just
you don't want to watch that with headphones.
Honestly, I don't even think you need to listen to the sound.
Just watching us.
Just watching us.
If you do watch it with sound, like a 2.
Oh my god.
Keep the volume
The
down.
looks on our faces in some of these scenes during the battle is just like...
devastating.
Oh
just
my god.
traumatic.
Exactly. You guys really should go watch it. It's entertaining.
Okay.
All right,
so 10?
Wait, no.
Almost.
Oh, shit, we're not done. Hello.
Okay, so...
Vale's here.
Yes, so Ramsay now knows he's screwed. He's like, oh, we're just going to go inside Winterfell, and we're just going to wait out a siege.
And 1-1 says, nah, bitch.
That gate of Winterfell really is not that strong.
It really
For
isn't.
a giant, he's a giant.
Sam's home looks so big and grand, and in comparison, I think Sam's home looks a shitload bigger than Winterfell.
The thing is with Winterfell, I mean, I don't mean anything against the production team for Winterfell, but it seems like Winterfell, there's only like the one little courtyard there.
It's more of a fort than a castle.
No, it is a castle. See,
no. What we see is more of a fort than a castle.
Yeah. See, but we only see like the one courtyard. That's kind of like the only exterior Winterfell set that we ever see.
And the weirwood.
And the
gods.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, but so poor 1-1 dies.
Yeah.
And then now Ramsay's like, oh, remember when you said let's do one-on-one combat?
Now that I'm surrounded by men,
I accept. And his weapon of choice in close quarters combat is a bow and arrow
versus a shield.
So dumb.
Right? Oh my god, that's so badass when he's just like, he like pulls up the shield, takes all the things, and then he takes Ramsay down with his bare hands.
But he doesn't kill him because he realizes, oh, Sansa would like this.
This
feels really good. I know someone else who would like this.
Yeah.
Yes. And the Bolton banners are lowered, and the Starks rule Winterfell once more. I remember screaming when that happened.
Oh my god.
So much screaming.
And I would like to point out, this is what Melisandre saw in her vision. She said, she swore that she saw the Bolton banners being lowered.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, Sansa says goodbye to her husband and feeds the dogs.
Yep.
They're very hungry.
They're so cute. What good dogs.
Yes.
They're good dogs.
Very good dogs.
Which, by the way, so I want to point out, so Andrew's mother, who was watching this episode with me earlier, so she watched that scene not knowing anything about it, and she looked at Sansa and she said, what a bitch. And I said to her, actually, that he got what he desered. And I was trying to have to justify in a few sentences what Ramsay had done.
Yeah, I guess without any backup, she does look like the villain.
You got into one fight with 2 of my brothers, I murder you with your own dog.
Alright, so now, the winds of winter.
I didn't take notes on this one.
Okay, I did. Kind of.
I know.
Best honestly, I thought the best piece of music.
Mad Queen, Septa Baylor, scoring feat, really.
I remember us, I distinctly remember we could not shut the fuck up about this music.
Oh,
we were just but this music,
Because, alright, see, so here's the thing.
But that dress, though.
But that dress,
though.
I rewatched it, I was like, her jacket's got a necklace. Like, what the hell?
It's because, and I called this, as soon as we saw it, I said, everyone is dressing for death.
Yeah.
The first
They're dressing for battle.
Funeral, yeah.
Well, because, see, here's the thing, is that, so Dan and David decided early on when talking about the score with Ramin Djawadi, they said, we don't want any flute music.
Rock.
Please,
rock
is fixing our camera.
Rock!
It's
He's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, they said they didn't want any flute music, but something else that we have never had in the score is just piano music. Just a simple piano is something we've never had in the score before.
No.
So when this started playing, we knew something significant was about to happen.
I told a friend when I was watching the episode when it first aired, he had never watched the show or hadn't caught up. I told him Game of Thrones just got itself to the level of The Godfather with this scene, the music, everything, because it reminded me of the end of The Godfather. It was stretched out over 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was, and we all felt it happening, but to watch it unfold was
because you're like, what's about to happen? So we see Loras is officially broken. Loras confesses to his sins and is mutilated.
It's carved out,
And then Lancel foolishly follows this little boy down into the tunnels.
What you doing? What you doing down there?
Which, why? He was supposed to go and get the queen. He's like, this little boy is running for me. I'm going to follow him.
No, and it felt
he was being very suspicious.
Well,
he was.
There was a deleted scene that we hadn't seen where Lancel had seen these kids poking around, an episode before, and we didn't. But it's like, why did he follow this little kid?
I think basically they were going, nah, 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 nah. Like, they were just egging him on to follow. Like,
oh, gosh. And then we have, and this one was where, Pycelle is killed by Qyburn's little birds.
He done gets stabbed.
And that was another one of Qyburn's smug moments. He was all like, I'm so sorry they have to die in such a dreary place.
You know who I feel bad for? Is all the whores whose tabs never got paid.
Oh my god!
Myself!
She's like, can I have my money?
Later, honey.
He goes, what's money?
I'm so old.
And then we have Marjorie again. This is why I always felt that Marjorie was best at the game. She's the only one that's like, something is wrong.
Right. We also, in this moment, see the High Sparrow realize that he's been played by Marjorie, because he says, fuck the gods, we gotta get out now. She's been like, oh yes, the mother's mercy and all of this, and all of a sudden she's like, bitch, we about to die.
Right, no. This is what I don't understand. Okay, yes, Loras' trial is over, alright? He's been mutilated, he's done. Why are they not letting anyone leave the Sept?
Because they gotta die, yo.
And they're also not locked in, because I thought that they had gotten locked in.
Yeah, and that was confusing.
Outside, we see Lancel leave.
They're just being blocked from leaving.
Yeah,
but by the sparrows.
Right, by the sparrows.
But for what reason?
The same reason that the waif died. It's their own pride. They're so self-righteous.
They're like, we're here to judge Cersei, and we're going to have this trial without her. And she's like, no, we don't.
God, and the Sparrow, he's just like, Cersei is going to suffer. He's just...
We'll have a trial
He never really appeared smug.
Yeah.
But in this scene, he suddenly is. Yeah. He's just like, she's so going to suffer. No, there's nothing wrong.
He was on his home field. Mm-hmm. He thought he had everything locked down, and he did. And he does realize, and it's right before the final explosion, you hear the rumble.
It's not till the rumble.
This look comes on his face of,
oh shit.
Yeah.
That moment is it when you see the wildfire just because you don't really see anyone else get burned by the wildfire in that explosion except for him. You just see it shoot up from underneath him. He's just like, oh.
I mean, everybody gets.
I swear that scene in slow mo, you see bodies fall apart. Terminator 2 stuff.
Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time, and I was really hoping that Marjorie would have gotten.
She and Laura should have gotten away, but obviously.
I remember the second, like,
but why were they blocking it?
For a second,
even most ridiculous, the second time I watched, I still was like, maybe does Marjorie get out? Maybe Marjorie gets out. Because
it's not ridiculous because every time I watch that thing, I'm like, maybe they get out. I think they get out.
Could she have gotten out without Loris? Like, if she just like
she would not have left Loris.
I know she would not have left Loris. But if she had,
but they weren't letting anyone out.
Yeah.
See, even when the entire crowd of people were pushing, why were they still blocking them in?
I mean, I think in a different scenario, if she kind of looked around and went, something's not right. I'll be right back. And then bolted.
But she would not have left her brother.
Yeah, she still would love her family.
She would. I'm just saying a different scenario.
Anyway, then I wrote, boom, drink for Cersei.
She done fucked it up. And she did just say, oh, that was good.
I think Lena Headey deserves an Emmy Award just for that one moment where she just smirks, drinks, and walks away. She is so fantastic.
No, yeah.
That's why she's so much better than any of the villains in this show, is because just...
Other villains.
Other villains. What did I say?
You just said villains.
Then other villains.
Other villains, because it's not like she's not a villain.
No, yeah.
Oh, and then we have one of the most satisfying scenes of all time. Cersei gives Septa Unella some wine.
Too much wine.
And introduces her to Sir Gregor.
How did Cersei get Unella out of the Sept without blowing everybody else up? And also, how did that little kid have such great knowledge of the human anatomy that he just friggin' got Lancel right in the spinal column?
Yeah.
And just
I thought he stabbed him in the leg.
He stabbed him in the
right
stomach.
Oh, did he? I always thought he just stabbed him in the leg.
No, he stabbed him in his torso at least.
No, he got him right in the back of the spine, and that's why Lancel couldn't crawl.
Yeah.
He crippled Lancel with a single stab.
Qyburn.
Oh, I never got that.
If anybody could have told me.
Well, if they took Qyburn's classes on human anatomy.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm sure they're practicing other people.
I think Qyburn is just responsible for all that.
So speaking of Septa Unella, K. Richard Jenkins just gave us the term wineboarding.
I said that.
Hello, K. Richard.
Hi.
Yes, wineboarding.
Wineboarding. Which I would, if I were going to be tortured.
I mean, yeah.
At least sip up a little wine and get drunk while you're being tortured.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
No, but that moment where she's like, I'm ready to meet the gods. She's like, what?
Now?
You're not going to die today. Oh, honey, no.
I think it was good because it was like, if you watch that scene by itself, just that response by itself, you'd be like, oh, this lady's a terrible actress. Because it was so weird. Yeah. But having it be Cersei just being so out of character, being like, haha, bitch, you think now is when you're going to die? Nah. She, legitimately amuses her that she's like, you're so dumb. Because I'm a fuck with you forever.
I mean, and this is what Cersei's been doing since her Walk of Atonement. She has literally just been sitting in the Red Keep, drinking wine, planning the most horrible ways for her enemies to die. Yeah. As we'll see next season when she finally gets hold of the sand bitches.
All right, and so the mountain shows up, but I want to know, what does he do with her? What is her ultimate?
She starts screaming and shit. Before he doesn't even touch her, and she starts screaming bloody murder.
I mean,
really?
That's where my mind went.
I have no idea.
We don't know what's under that tunic. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, if anything, Septa Unella, to be violated in the light of the Seven, that's a pretty basing humiliation.
I mean,
yeah.
Well,
I don't know though.
Then we have
maybe he just tickles her and she's like, no.
No. So the mountain stands over her and hawks a loogie. It's about to hit her. Takes it back. Not today.
Maybe some bugs start crawling out of his face.
Yeah.
He steps into the light is what happens.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck is
does
that?
Does he walk in and just unleash 6 months worth of not dead wind in their cell, and she gets to take it all in. Like, what is happening?
Oh God, I'm sure that guy stinks so bad. He's pretty much like a rotting corpse.
Yeah.
He has got to smell terrible.
No, he was a rotting corpse. Now he's a non-rotting corpse.
How do we
Do you really think he takes the time to bathe?
No, I just think that...
Maybe he does in front of her. That's...
K. Richard Jenkins says slow death by Frankenmonster unwanted attention. So just like, hi, hi,
he
hi,
and loves her,
hi. He linnies her. Oh no, he just like, I want to pet her so much.
Okay, all right. We should move on.
I would die too.
So, we have, Tommen leaps to his doom.
He creates King's Landing.
Actually, the first time we saw this, so
half of us missed. Half of y'all missed
it. Happens. No, because I specifically remember. Actually, what I'm about to do now is like. So after the scene with Septu and Ella, I was like, okay. Ooh, we calm down. I need some more wine, please. And I remember I turned and I was like, please.
No, you got handed the bottle.
Yeah. So I was pouring.
I just watched it today.
Yeah. I remember I was busy pouring wine and I went, wait, what? Like it happened so quickly,
just like
quietly.
Just crown off, out of scene, up to the thing and gone.
He doesn't jump. He just falls.
He just falls. So our reactions were the fuck. What? Like everyone's face, jaw dropped.
It was silent.
We couldn't have
the scene
silent.
was silent.
Hang on.
The old witch was right.
Did he?
Because I looked up like. He was halfway through his fall.
Yeah.
Already.
And there was no like scream or like there was
nothing.
Yeah.
It was like complete silence.
I thought we were done with that, and then I looked up
so
just as he was slipping out
His head
of frame.
went like out of frame. Yeah. Hang on, there was so much confusion because we were
all like,
blew
what's
up
happening?
and Nella was getting fucked or something. We were like,
Yeah,
all right,
all right,
clearly
makes sense,
time
yeah.
to do our business now.
Yeah.
And then Tom would just woo.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
All right, what's next?
Walder Frey celebrates regaining River Run, but then Jamie calls him out and is like, "Have you ever actually fought?"
Jamie puts him in his place.
We get another cute scene where Braun's like, "You don't have to fucking do a thing." Like he's like, the ladies flock to you, to Jamie. He's like,
yeah. Thinking about your golden fingers.
Come on. And we do see the girl. Oh, so that's the question. Do we think that the girl is Arya already? I
did not rewatch it today.
And she makes, she has her eyes locked on Jamie. And so,
I didn't notice that.
Well, here's actually.
So this is the girl. Hang on. So this is the girl that prompts Braun to say, they all just fall in love with you by just looking. A little bit later, he was like, she just wants your golden fingers up her cunt. She wants you, and that is the girl who kills Frey. And then Jamie's like, oh, those girls are after you. Have you met Ted? That's what he basically does. And
have you met Ted?
Yeah, that's what he does. And so I just don't know if that's already Arya at that point or not.
That's a good question. And actually,
I can look at that.
I was up and doing things while that scene was playing, so I didn't see it. But as you're,
I have to watch it. I have to watch it again.
I mean, so I swear in that scene I saw Walder and Lothar in that scene, and then what we know happened later, he's like, "Where are my sons? They're not here." So I really don't know.
Yeah,
okay. We'll see. And then here's the thing: is that no, Jamie is not on Arya's list.
No,
but I think that's
she would
because,
take the advantage.
But here's the thing: she doesn't know that Jamie is the one who pushed Bran out the window.
Right, we have talked about this.
That's right.
Yeah,
so the thing is, if she knew this information, then Jamie probably would definitely be on his.
Oh, absolutely.
But she wasn't there for Lannister. She was there for the Frey.
Yeah, she was there for the Freys. Yeah.
Okay, no, okay, Richard Jenkins, because regardless, that's what that girl looked like.
What does he say?
Hang on.
Sorry.
He says, hot waitress eyeing Jamie, Arya or hot Frey wench, vote Arya, no hot Frey wenches.
What?
Say that again.
Because he says, okay, if the question is hot waitress eyeing Jamie, is it Arya or hot Frey wench? He votes Arya because there are no hot Frey wenches. But
otherwise, Walder Frey would have married her already.
But so that means two things. That either means that this is a girl from the town and not from not afraid, but she's still because this is still a person who exists who would exist enough to feed Walder Frey. He doesn't know everybody, but nobody doesn't recognize her at all.
You're not one of
yeah,
mine.
that doesn't matter. So that's a stupid point that I just made. But she is a person who exists. So she's either not a he's not her daughter, but she can still be a hot person who exists.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, now also, who is it? Because as we've learned, Arya is not one to just murder innocent people. So who's to say that when she left, she did not go and take a bunch of faces with her and put them in her bag?
Yeah,
I mean,
also
Freddie doesn't know who she is when she does serve him. So
he says. So I think his point is she has to be Arya because this is a face she took before she got there.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm caught up, K. Richard Jenkins.
All right. Well, see, and now we have it playing on the TV in the background. And oh my gosh, I want to look this up because she looks exactly like the actress who plays Sybil in Downton Abbey.
No,
I'm not saying this. I'm saying she looks.
Okay.
Saying she looks just like her.
Yeah, so I agree with the good point that because she is so hot, she probably
is
not
that
from
Walder
there.
Frey's
Oh,
sons? Look at how
see, they're there.
terrible
They're there.
Anyway.
Well,
All right, so this is a different piece.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's a different scene.
But anyway, so we were saying Jamie was calling Walder Frey out for being you don't actually do anything. You just sit here.
No, but so since this is not the feast that he later gets it at, that doesn't necessarily have
You know
to
what
be
it
Arya.
is? I think she just has such a hot face that when she's making a I am looking at someone because I'm interested in their person, it comes off as hey baby.
Yeah.
Because she's got such a hot face.
I agree.
Oh, look, Braun is drinking out of almost the exact same.
But I mean,
glass
I think it does leave it open. It's is she looking at Jamie? She's like, oh, I know you. Haha, you don't know me. Or is she just wench who?
I think she's
hot.
I think
that would mean that Arya would have had to kill her first.
No, because
she's not Arya.
He makes the point of she could have taken a face or two from the.
No, but I'm saying if this is not Arya, Arya would have to kill her first.
Yes.
So,
and Arya doesn't do that. So
and
let's
also
just,
she doesn't.
Let's just assume for the sake of story, Arya took a bunch of faces with her. When
I like that.
She has a bag full of faces.
So you're saying this is Arya doing recon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, and that's what that smug look is. She's all because she would not have. I mean, granted, no one in there. If she did go in there as Arya, no one would know who she was.
Yeah.
But still, she wouldn't want to take that risk and show up there.
The writers be these guys are total bullshit. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So let's move on because we're almost done.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Samwell arrives at Old Town.
Oh, Sam.
They are not the most welcoming of people.
They are
Good
not.
Lord, that guy's a douche.
He was a
Probably
very
because
big douche.
they're not allowed to have sex with women either.
And they're not outside a library, for God's sake.
Right, women and children are not allowed in the library. How dare you? But that library is, I wrote, amazing.
Yeah.
And Sam has his Belle moment.
Yes.
I've never seen so many books in all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But we got distracted with this Arya thing. I do want to say part of the scene with Jamie and Frey, though, is that Frey says something about, we don't have to, I can't remember what it was, but he basically talks about being feared and how you just have to be feared.
Yeah.
And Jamie, I think that sinks into part of Jamie's transition. It's does he want to be someone who is feared? He's already failed his first test. He picked family over honor and trashed Riverrun. And then now it's
You say he failed that? I mean, he went there with a job and
I
he
think
did
in
his
terms
job.
of his hero's journey, if he had picked honor over family,
I think
that would have been passing the test that Brienne set for him.
I think he handled Riverrun with as much honor as the situation would have allowed him to.
No, but ultimately he failed the test because he still picked his family over honor.
I wouldn't say he failed
because
that.
it should have been the Tully's house. I mean,
no, but he actually technically, if he sent Edmure in there to reclaim the house, then technically Edmure is Lord of Riverrun, and he's in there doing. And he other than the Blackfish getting killed, he did it without bloodshed.
Yeah.
He sent the Lord of Riverrun in there to say, "Put your swords down."
Yep. But no, I mean, well, yeah. To me, there was a test, and at that point, he failed it. And
Jamie
failed? He chooses family over honor, and what does it get him? In my opinion, I'm the only one who thinks he's on a hero's journey, so it's fine.
No, you're not.
We all think he's on a hero's journey.
He is. And
no, the River Run was a test that
he failed.
It should have, and I mean, he came out with a not everyone died thing, but the way it happened, the way Brienne told him to do it, he didn't do. And so, in that aspect, he failed his first test. Because then later he's going to pass it when he leaves Cersei to go join the fight. And he says, I'm here to fight for the promise I made.
Wait,
that's all I'm saying.
But Jamie
Jamie
could have handled River Run in a lot of different ways. And I think the old Jamie would have stormed River Run, killed whoever was in there, wouldn't have mattered who, would have taken it by force. Jamie did, he tried to keep honor, but he also, he had a job to do for his family. He did all that. He handled it as best he could. He explored all other options, and it only happened the way it did because of the Blackfish's stubbornness. Jamie handled it with as much honor as the situation would have allowed.
Well, because the first thing Jamie did was he said, Lord Enmure, feed him, bathe him, clothe him,
exactly.
Well,
and because he did
fix the shit you have
because I would have to go back and rewatch the scene with Brienne to come up with my theory exactly, because I didn't take the notes down word for word. But in my opinion, that he was given a test by Brienne and he failed it. He didn't lose, but he failed Brienne's test. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
And I was, and I'm the one who saw it that way, so that's fine. Moving on.
So, and then, all right, we're almost done. We have Davos confronts Melisandre for burning Shireen. And
that scene, man.
I know
it's been a long time.
And then Jon is kind of like, well, she did bring me back to life. I probably shouldn't murder her for this.
Yeah.
But
I think he makes a very good compromise.
I do too.
You fucked up. Go away. If you come back, you die.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's good. Okay.
Moving on.
That's what I'm... Okay. And then finally, Jon and Sansa have a conversation about trusting each other. Say, oh, I'm sorry I didn't tell you that you didn't need all your men to die because Knights of the Vale might have been coming. But just finally they decide we should trust each other. Let's not lie to each other anymore.
But I also
let's
like
have
that
communication.
It's not a point, a huge point of contention, because they acknowledge, somehow being so young, they're old enough to realize, you've been through your shit. Yeah. I've been through my shit. Yeah. We have both made choices and mistakes. This is one of them. Let's not do it anymore with each other. Yeah. I'm not going to hold a grudge against you for this at all. Yeah. But moving forward, we cannot fucking do this because we've got too much at stake.
Especially because the White Raven has arrived. So finally, winter has come. They've been saying the very first episode of the entire series was titled "Winter is coming," and finally, winter has come.
And again, and I will always point out my favorite fun or good. This is another sibling scene where she says, "Father always said it." A little cute quip of Ned. Oh, he was right.
Yeah.
Well, even Stannis said a while back. He's all guess what? The Starks are eventually right. Winter is coming. It does eventually.
K. Richard says, "King's justice." Danny would have what?
What
are those sentences, bud?
K-Rich, have you been drinking more than us?
Can you try again? He also asked me, did I hurt my wrist? Or are you getting ready for next Saturday's Bare Knuckle Women's North American Championship? I said, "Por qué no los dos?" Why can't it be both?
All right, and then we have
clarify, KJ.
The Sand Bitches meet with Olenna, and I love that Lady Olenna was like, "What was your name, Barbara?" Yeah, shut up. The grown women are talking.
Barbaro.
Finally, Olenna puts them in her place.
I love Olenna.
Okay. Oh, so going back, he says to the Red Woman, Danny would Danny Bernhardt or exiled? God, did you lose your language?
Would Danny burn her or exile her?
Well, no, that's no.
Would Danny Bernhardt or exile her? Or Bernhardt or exile her?
Well,
Danny would not
burn.
Would not look kindly on a woman who knowingly burned a child.
Yeah, we've seen what she does to children.
But Danny also has pets and loved ones.
Well, Danny has burned plenty of people herself. Sure. But also, the thing is, you're not trying to condemn a woman who brought you back to life.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of John's thing. Is like, well, she did something very, very great for me.
And
so
we're missing something. Melisandre said she's been ready to die for a long time before they threatened her.
And
that's a good point, I think.
And in the books, the few point of view chapters we have for Melisandre, apparently she looks into the flames every single morning when she wakes up to know if she's going to die. What?
He did it.
What did he say?
He said, "My spelling is off. I blame the editor."
Yeah, no, I mean, but see, here's the thing, but Daenerys, what she does, like with Jorah, she's all like, you've done something that normally I would execute someone for, but you are close to me, I have some sort of relationship with you, so she does choose banishment over burning them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Varys has arrived in Dorne, and so now they forge an alliance with
Fire and Blood,
the Dragon Queen. Yes, and then I have Dario gets dumped. Poor guy. Well, I'm sure the sex was good while it lasted, but and that's probably what Tyrion. Pretty much what Tyrion told her that she needed to do that because they're like, my dad told me not to bring a horde to King's Landing, and it did not turn out well.
He saw last season, her last husband, he was all with the knife. He's like, oh, what you got to do is this. And, I mean, Jon Snow wouldn't put up with that shit from anybody.
It was good. It was sad that she's not going to get the little
Dario
bits of Dario anymore. But,
so here's the question. Is Dario coming back? Can I ask this question?
No.
Yes,
you can ask. Well, I do not think he's coming back.
I mean, I think that's... I mean, it was kind of like Jack
because he did make... The reason I asked was because a while before, he asked... he said, I am so excited to see her once she's ruling Westeros.
Yes.
I think... Yeah, I think they did a good job closing off his storyline. I mean, if he comes back, then he comes back and whatever, but I don't know what... Especially because we have so few episodes left.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would really...
He could have disobeyed her orders and joined up with the Golden Company.
Yeah, I mean...
That's such a fucked up theory, and I hate it.
I as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of like Jack and Braavos. I think his storyline is done.
And Syrio, too?
Yeah, per se. I was still holding out that Jaqen would wind up being Syrio Forel, but again, it's like we've moved past that, and yes, as much as we might want to still believe it,
we only have 6 episodes
right,
left.
It's just that we don't have time. I mean, if this series was extended another season or 2, then yes, by all means, bring them back. But it's just we have 6 episodes left. We don't have time for that. So.
I'm kind of getting on board with that whole feeling.
Yeah.
What's next?
Tyrion becomes Hand of the Queen. And the look on his face.
He's going to start wiping her ass.
Well, yes, that's what the hand does.
That's what the hand does?
Yeah.
The king
no, but it's just like that look on his... Because back since season 2, like, that was when he was the happiest and he felt the best of it. He's like, when he was Hand of the King. Because that's what he's good at.
It was...
It's like, he doesn't want to rule, but he's really good at advising, and he's really good at the politics, and he loves the game. So it's kind of like that look of this is all he wanted.
Yeah.
So, yay. And then we have Arya gets revenge on Walder Frey.
Arya
She freaking feeds him his, like, we're going full on Titus Andronicus.
And this might just because I have such a connection to the Muppets Christmas Carol, but...
What the fuck?
Hang on.
Right,
the way her voice is exactly the Ghost of Christmas Past. When she says, "He's here, my lord," like it is exactly how the Ghost of Christmas Past says some shit, and I know we've recently watched both of these things, so I would like us to review because it drives me fucking bonkers during this very serious of like it's supposed to be intense, but she's right here, my lord. I'm like, it's not Michael Caine. You're not a creepy Muppet ghost. I don't know what's happening.
All right, so come this Christmas when we rewatch Muppet Christmas Carol, we are going to pay close attention to.
And we're gonna also have this
is
scene.
Baking people into pies.
No, just we will play that, and then we will play this one scene, and y'all will hear it. And I won't be crazy. Hey, Richard Jenkins says, with only 6 episodes, we won't get many new stories. Only ends of previous ones makes me sad. But also, Dario is the end of a previous one.
He would be dead.
No, but his story was wrapped up. I mean, no, he's right. It's with 6 episodes left, like, you need to wrap things up. That's just... story-wise, like, we do not have time to introduce I mean, there might be some new characters we haven't seen before, but we cannot start new storylines.
No, we can't.
And whatnot. It's like this, we need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, so going to that, we touched on it, but what the hell is going on with young Sam? Does anybody else think that he is like a time bomb waiting to explode, that little blue eye?
He thinks his eyes are too blue.
Because that thing is the 99th son of Craster, and that is no accident. He is a demon spawn that was meant to be a White Walker. That
No, they don't become the spawn until the Night King gets a hold of them.
But he never did.
And it didn't get its due with that child.
There are lots of theories
of that. Do you think the Night King is coming after that kid? That's his motivation?
I don't know, but there is something not right about that child.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna have this big battle, and then he's gonna pick up baby Sam and be like, "Okay, guys, I'm out."
It's like, that's all I wanted.
Bye. Have a good day.
No, he's gonna have the moment like Viserys before he died. It's like, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I just wanted that baby.
Exactly.
Bye.
Now that we understand the White Walker's motivation, we know how to just fix this whole situation.
We understand their motivation?
No.
We need to have a whole separate video before the next season starts where we will discuss theories.
Yeah.
Because we can discuss that
Maybe
for
that'll
hours.
be a Wednesday. Maybe that'll be the Wednesday.
Okay. So we have Arya gets revenge on Walder Frey. Oh, and then we have Bran finally reveals the freaking theory that we've been guessing for years. R plus
L.
R plus L equals J.
So we finally get up into the Tower of Joy. Although I also noticed that we saw again the scene where Ned turns around. Bran didn't say anything.
Yep.
And Ned still stops on the stairs and turns around at the same point when he did when Bran said father. Mm-hmm. So that's a thing. All right. And so we also get the whole, like, and I was rewatching our reaction video for this one, and we were just like, just give it to us actually.
Just tell us.
She whispers, and we were like, and also call him John, but she does say what to call him in the whispers.
Yeah, she does.
But she also says, Robert will kill him if he finds out.
Yeah.
Keep him safe. You
yeah,
promise me. Promise me. And then they basically 100% give it to us because they show baby John.
Yeah.
And that's the order.
It finally revealed to us the theory that the book fans have been guessing for a long time is that Jon Snow is actually the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark.
The rightful heir of the Seven Kingdoms.
But we don't find out yet that he's not. Yes, we find out who he is, but it's not until next season we find out that he's not really a bastard.
Yes.
So at this point, we still think he's a bastard, but we finally know that he is in fact a Targaryen.
They got married.
Yeah.
He is a Targaryen and Stark. Jon Snow is literally the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
Oh, sure.
Episode 11.
All right.
Oh, here's a question. Audie would love this question. So, now that the wall is down, could Benjen go home and help fight the White Walkers?
Is the wall down?
She would love that.
Well,
question.
I mean, it is. Not at this moment. But he's saying, "Oh, I can't go with you."
Does he not get killed at the Dragon Time place thing Was
no,
because
he's there.
Let's
with Bran.
discuss that later.
At this moment, he's there with Bran, or does he? Oh, does he show up later?
No, he shows up when Jon is in trouble.
He
shows up with his
He's the
fucking
he's the
flail, his fire flail again.
About, like right now, he's saying he can't go past the walls. Like,
that's a super good question. I'm pretty sure he can't get past the wall because he's dead.
He can't, and
once the wall falls. Once the wall falls.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like but I mean. Forgetting what happened later, because I totally forgot that he comes back again.
I think,
if the wall falls, could he be like, okay, here I come?
He could. He absolutely could. If the Night King can pass, so can he. Because they were created by the same magic, the Dragon Glass. Which some of us care about, Mark does not, so let's not mention it, because he'll just try and blow past it.
Okay.
I had a question after
you have
the
two
Battle
more
of the
points,
Bastards.
though, right?
Like, they had a lot of people to burn.
So the last point that I wrote, well, there's still... The two more scenes that we watched.
Because we're at like 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. This is why I try to move past segments, and then people yell at me when I move past them. So Jon is named King of the North. Yay, yes. Sansa and Littlefinger give each other looks. Scene. They did not even change the dialogue from when they named Robb King of the North. There's only one king I bow to, and that's King of the North.
And Lyanna Mormont chirped in a great way.
I love her. I love her.
She is great. And then we cut to Cersei is crowned queen of Westeros, the very first queen in all of Westeros. Not even the Targaryens were able to put a queen on the throne. And Cersei has finally done it, probably because she's all like, if any of you disagree with me, I will burn you with wildfire.
Carriage Jenkins says... Season 6, final 2 episodes, the best ever. Season 4, final 5 episodes, the best ever. So if he's giving us best 2 episodes or the season 6, final 2, best 5 episodes or the second half of season 4. That's a weird metric to go by, but okay, KJ. That's fine.
Like, I feel like the finale of season 4 is fantastic.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But it leads up to that.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, and
these are two amazing fucking
It's great the way that they edited this together, because it's like, it reveals that Jon is, in fact, Rhaegar's son, and then it cuts to Cersei being crowned queen of Westeros, and then just when Cersei's sitting there thinking, I've wiped out all of my enemies, it cuts to Daenerys literally crossing the sea to come and conquer Westeros.
It cuts to Theon.
The banner colors of Tyrell is green and gold.
She looks it up too. So, and we see in her fleet are not only her dragons, but the Krakens of the Greyjoys. Yep. We see the Sunspear of Dorne, and we see the Flower of Highgarden, the Rose of Tyrell. So we see all of those in her fleet, even though, swear to God, they're just like 7 green boats. But the Tyrells got their boats in there.
The Dothraki
the Tyrells don't have much. Yeah, they finally did what they've been trying to get the Dothraki to do since season 1 is cross the sea.
And they are vomiting. They are vomiting.
They are. I missed that.
They are for sure vomiting.
Oh yeah, those poor guys are so seasick because they've never been on ships. Because...
And we saw them vomiting before because they took they took a boat before. Her tiny Khalasar after Karth took a boat.
Did they? Oh yeah, that's when they were vomiting.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, because they went from Karth to Slaver's Bay.
Oh yeah.
To Astapor.
Are we done? Did we do it?
So.
I mean, that's it. And then that season ended with Daenerys and her new alliances sailing across the sea.
Yeah.
Beautiful sequence with the dragons. Yes.
Yep.
And we're done. All right, great. So we have one more week where we're doing this. We're doing all of season 7 this week.
Oh, goodness. All of season 7.
Pretty intense. Fewer episodes, longer episodes. A lot of shit happens.
So much more stuff.
Next week, we managed to do this one in 2 hours and 10 minutes. So sorry, y'all, for next week and how that one goes.
Bring a lunch.
Bring a lunch, bring a snack, bring a drink, because it will be a long one.
A lot of drink.
If you enjoy what you have watched, please subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell so you know when we've gone live. We try to go live at a specific time every week, but sometimes it doesn't work, or we just switch it up because we're bored. Also, we have switched up how our Patreon works, so we are doing different levels this time, and I don't know exactly, but they are 1, 3, and 5. 1 gets you...
The live talkback.
The live talkback. So we do a live talkback after every episode. And so if you give us $1 a month and that's it, you'll be able to join us after you're super hyped about us yelling about the episode we just watched. You can join us and talk to us and yell at us, and we'll yell at you about the show afterwards. At $3.
All the Night's perks and
all the Night's
Patreon
perks
exclusive content.
And all of the Patreon exclusive content. So that's our other episodes that we've done, other shows that we're doing, movies that we're doing. And then for $5 a month, we also will have our Comic Palooza live stream. So you'll be able to see those right away and ask questions and be an exclusive. We're doing a 2-week special to where if you do this, you will get a special shout out.
And you get special thank you.
And a special thank you at the end of every video. Those are our big plugs. We have a lot of fun doing this, but we love wine. So if you give us $1 a month, we get to buy more wine and be more fun for you.
Yay!
And also microphones and computers and all that other shit that we actually have to use to do this. But for me, mainly it's the wine.
Special thank you to all of y'all for letting me join you this evening.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sharing,
thank you.
and stuff. I mean, if y'all kill me, somebody will feed part of my family to you. But.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
We're good.
Are we good?
I hope so.
Andrew.
We are the Knights of the Drunk Watch.
And now our talk has ended. Goodbye.